Hey everyone, Slayer here to introduce Nasty and Friends from BDC Studios, a podcast where two friends who met in the Army Reserves get together and talk about shit. One's a firefighter and the other has a funny laugh. So sit back, get rid of your kids, and hold on to your because it's about to get nasty, friends.
Welcome to Nasty and Friends with Pagnasty and Spicy Motherfucking Brown.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Nasty and Friends podcast. I'm Spicy Motherfucking Brown, and I'm here with my main man, my ace boon coon, Pagnasty.
Present.
What up, homie?
It's good to be back again. 2 weeks in a row, bitches.
Well, you know where we're at. We're in BDC Studios. This is episode 45.
Season 3.
Season 3. New season, same bullshit. Today, we have a special guest on the podcast. He's been on before. This is the second time on the podcast. Our main man, Tower.
What's his name, Tower? What's going on, man?
What's up, guys? America, bitches.
Thanks for coming back, dude. I'm glad we're kind of in a pinch. So as usual, we scraped the bottom of the barrel and your name came up. So
makes sense.
really
No one else wanted to come on your show, so you called me. I get it.
Tower will do it. We don't even have to pay him.
No, it's awesome. We're glad you're here. We got a lot of good shit to talk about. We actually talked before we recorded last week's podcast. There's some stuff that we want to talk about, but we knew you were gonna come on, so we'll just wait about fights and stuff like that. So if you want to give them a rundown for maybe people who are new to the podcast, maybe they haven't listened to Tower's first episode, or
all right. So Tower, we knew through mutual friends. Specifically, Danny Molina, who's been on the podcast. So Tower's been a friend of ours. We had him on before. The last time Tower was on, we talked a lot about fighting, specifically training, weight cutting being a diabetic. And then I've never been a fighter, but I'm a huge fan of MMA.
right.
Whether Bellator, UFC, Invicta, Pride, all that stuff. So I enjoyed talking about that with Tower, and then getting the perspective from him being a fighter and what it's like mentally being prepared to go into a fight, doing the weight cut like we said, we talked about his first fight, how he got into it, and a lot of that stuff. So we might hit on some of that stuff again because I got for sure questions, and but yeah, we'll get into that. It's a food podcast. We're gonna get into that. I want to get into some death pool stuff. First, we'll set up the atmosphere. Of course, we're in BDC Studios. You want to talk about what we have on the background playing?
Yeah. On YouTube playing, we got the best video game kills. So I know, like I said, I'm not a huge. When I say I'm not a huge fan of video games, is I don't play a lot myself, but I could sit down and watch people play. Yeah. I enjoy that stuff. I know you guys are kind of a little bit more gamers than what I am, but so those I just love those stuff. You're talking about what was it? What game were we just talking about? Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Somebody just throws a random hatchet up in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just fucking just get murked like that. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
That shit does crack me up. So I think we were trying to decide what we wanted to watch, and I just happened to see a video. I'm like, oh yeah, let's do that. So
Dude, and I used to game.
Yeah,
hardcore,
you used to game hardcore.
Me and Meston had the headsets. We would fucking play all day long, man. And I would get to the point where I would just try to get tomahawk kills, or I would just try to get ballistic knife kills, or knife kills.
Yeah.
I was actually really good. Now I don't play barely any video games. The boys have everything. We got an Xbox. We got a PS4. They got the old school Nintendo. They got the Super Nintendo. They got all sorts of shit. They're big into Fortnite right now. Everybody's
So is
kids
everyone.
are everybody's into Fortnite. But I did play Hav and Madden 96 on Nintendo.
Shit.
Wow. Crushed it.
Oh, yeah.
Crushed.
Yeah, who were you? Who was he?
I was the Steelers. I don't know why I picked them. I should have picked the Eagles. He was the Saints because they're all Saints fans.
Right.
And in 96, I'm guessing the Saints were shitty, but I crushed. In the first quarter, it was 21-0, and then that was it. So,
Dude, that's crazy. What's your current favorite game?
Like I said, I only have a Super Nintendo console that has multiple games on it. Like I'll play Donkey Kong on that. I have a Nintendo 64. I play Super Mario, Mario Kart.
To me, Mario
Smash
Kart
Brothers.
for the Nintendo 64 is the best game of all time.
I agree.
Like
hands
I
down.
fuck it. That is,
Absolutely.
dude.
The only
people
games
still do.
I have for the 64 are the classic games.
Yeah.
Like my second favorite of all time is Star Fox.
Oh yeah, with the Rumble Pack. Fuck
Yes.
yeah, dude. I love that shit.
I always loved because you could have different views when you were playing the game. That my favorite view is when you were felt like you were in the cockpit.
Oh, like the first person
yes,
view? Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, that's good view, man. Yeah, I love that game as well. But yeah, so that's what we got going on. Obviously, the record light's going because we are live. And we do, of course, we are rocking out the Zimas, but they're the upgraded versions. We did get Jolly Ranchers for them, and I think they're like 100% better, right?
100%.
Yeah, and so I'm rocking the grape.
I got grape too.
And then
Blue Raz.
yeah, I mean, it's fucking good.
100
Probably
times.
probably still won't have more than one.
Right.
And it may take me all 3 hours again to drink it, but yeah, I'm fucking pumped, man. It's gonna be a good podcast. It's a great day. We're still eating off, some of that brisket.
Oh, shit. God, that was so
and
good.
as everybody knows, this is a food podcast, and so because you cooked the brisket, and Cam was like, "Listen, like your brisket's good, but I don't want to eat it for 4 straight meals. Let's go get lunch." So we went out to lunch today, and you need to tell the nasties out there what we had because, oh my god.
Oh my god. So first I'll say that the city I'm in, I'll just say it. It's Bellevue.
Yeah,
I'm from here,
Bellevue, Texas.
Bellevue, Texas. Growing up, I didn't love it. Now, I mean, I love the town, and I'm glad where I'm from. Bellevue, it's close to, it's on an Air Force base, so I think the Air Force base made it what it is. It's the first city in Nebraska. It's diverse because of the military base.
Right.
So growing up, I had friends of all races. I had friends from different states. Friends I came and gone, so I think I got exposed to just different cultures and stuff at an early age. And right now, it's a food city.
Yeah.
So there's so many different restaurants that are mom and papa stores.
Yeah.
That
And
keep
I didn't
popping up.
realize that. Like, you were telling me,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
on the way out, and I was like, shit, you're, like, pointing out stuff. Like,
Oh, yeah.
this place has been here since blah, blah, blah. And the guy's been, like, the same owner.
Yeah.
And so I was like, dude, that's fucking awesome. I love that.
Yeah. So, and I'm not ever on Facebook. Camus is, and they got a pretty good page. It's like the Taste of Bellevue or something like that.
Okay.
And people just talk about restaurants, new restaurants, give you the history on restaurants, and everybody's on there talking. And I don't get on it, but she's always like, oh, there's a new restaurant. Everybody says, fucking, we got to go. Let's go. Like Roma's or whatever. So the place I took you to is a place that's called John's Grecian Delight. It's inside an old mall that no longer is used. The only thing there is a gym, antique store, and some daycare that operates at some weird hours or whatever.
Right. I mean, you said this is the mall that you grew up
This is the
with.
mall I grew up going to.
Right,
It's called
yeah.
South Roads.
Yeah, going over there as a young, tiny teenage Brown, just fucking shit up.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, like I said, there's nothing there. There's a big gym there called Bob's Fitness or something. Other than that, they don't do a lot of advertising. There's no sign on the outside of the mall that says John's Grecian Delight is in here. You just got to know it's there or whatever, and word of mouth. And I think it got popular again because of that website, the Taste of Omaha page.
Yeah.
So it's been operating for over 35 years.
That's so fucking awesome.
John was there. He's there every time I go in there.
Yeah, it's not by the same guy.
By the same guy. So I tell people, like, if you're people hear about it and they're like, oh, we got to go. If you want to go, because you don't know how long he's going to work or even be alive.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's an old Greek restaurant. They specialize in gyros. They have burgers and other stuff in there too. Get a gyro.
Yeah, but if you like gyros, that's what I
gyro.
got. And it's so fucking good. It's decently priced too. It's not super like
3 of us ate for $20.
Yeah.
They have good pastries. We had a baklava.
Oh, so good.
It's solid. If you like gyros, John's Grecian Delight is the place to go. And like you said, the decor.
Yeah.
I don't think it's changed in 35 years. It's just a cool little restaurant,
Yeah, because I had said, and I was like, when you go into a place and you like question the health code of it, like that's always a good place. That is not John's. It is very, very clean. But when you go there, you can tell when he bought it and he set everything up 35 years ago, he hasn't changed anything.
No.
So it has that old school vibe. It's not, I mean, the place is smaller than BDC Studios. Like, where we're at right now, it is smaller than, and it's fucking phenomenal,
area.
man. You should, you like Euros, right?
Oh, I love Euros.
Yeah, you should definitely.
I'm gonna have to take an insulin shot just because y'all talking about it. This sounds amazing.
Well, the baklava, we're like us three split it, and I
Yeah.
was like, it's almost too much.
It's
Like
so
it's
rich.
so sweet.
Yeah,
It's
the honey and everything in it. Yeah, it's
so
sweet.
fucking good.
But yeah, and I'm glad we got to go to that. And then, that's good. So if you're in the area, check out John's Grecian Delight.
Yeah.
And do it because who knows? This guy might retire. He might die. But yeah, for sure, check that out. And then, even after that, we went to Volcanic Peppers.
Oh fuck yeah! Yeah, I'd never been there. The hot sauce store.
I have not. No.
Oh, dude, it's fucking great. And the person that's in there, I think, is the sister of the owner.
Tim is the owner. That's his
dude.
sister.
She's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, any questions that you have, she answers. She busted out like we were trying, which they have samples, which is awesome that you can do that. She's like, you guys want me to go get the salsa? Yep, like no hesitation. So like we tried like all the different salsas and stuff. So
you guys talked about them on a few podcasts.
Well,
ago,
we probably like every podcast. I think we bring them up
right when you started doing the Hot Ones tribute. Is that when you brought them up? I think.
Yeah, because I was just in the area looking for sauces. We ordered some sauces online. I went in that place to check it out. The sister was there that day too, and she was super cool. So I got the lava with chocolate, the chocolate lightning with ghost pepper in it. And then we got the machine hot sauce. And then we got the Lava Dia del Sol hot sauce there, which is one of my favorite hot sauces of all time. Okay. Pags just bought some today, but they have spices. They have candy, like pretzels, almonds. They have hot sauces, barbecue sauces. They have ranch. And they have everything you want. They have some stuff from other places. How it started out is this guy was just interested. He was growing his peppers. His family said the house fucking stinks all the time, especially when you're cooking and making your own salsas and you're using like hot shit. So they moved into another place. Now they're in this place. And I'm guessing most of their business is online because everybody likes hot peppers. But they do everything and they do it well. And the sister's very knowledgeable. They talked about, everything from your jalapeno peppers. And then, I mean, they have stuff with a lot of ghost peppers. Ghost peppers was everything a few years ago. Now you have a lot hotter stuff. So we tried stuff with the Reaper's really popular now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Carolina Reaper is really popular now. But they even have stuff with the Scotch Bonnet, the Trinidad, what's that pepper? It's right below.
I can't think of it, but...
Is it Scorpion?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because they also, I don't know if you had mentioned this, but they also they sell the hot ones of the Last Dab.
Yeah, they have that in
there, and which is great because they came out with 3 new ones. So they have the original, which I didn't see the original one there. Yeah. They had it for taste test, but they did have the Scorpion one that's out there.
I think it's Trinidad Scorpion, and then you have your Scotch Bonnet, which is right around there, lower than that. Then you have your Carolina Reaper. But we tried some of that. Tried some habanero. Tried some ghost pepper.
Yeah,
my mouth was hot by the time we left.
Yeah.
They brought out the salsa, and it was chilled with some tortilla chips. And she didn't even know if we were going to buy anything. We were in there hanging out for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
She was talking, and it went from mild to hot. And even the hot had Reaper in it, but it wasn't disgusting. You guys tried that Spectrum hot sauce.
Yeah, it was hot.
And I smelled it, and I knew.
Yeah, it stuck with me for a while. And my all-time favorite hot sauce is the Volcanic Peppers De La Soul. And so I definitely got, and it comes in the big bottle, and I got that. Are you much of a hot sauce guy? I can't remember.
We brought it up the last time.
Right.
I don't like hot where I'm a pussy when it comes to spicy hot.
I mean, it's good to know your limits for sure.
Yeah,
so.
But if it is got a flavor, a sweet flavor with a little bit of kick, I'm all for it. But if it's something that's just gonna make me want to cry, get fucked.
Yeah, no, I get that. Well, I have that, the De La Soul, man. And like I said, last time after we did the wing challenge, he said they weren't going to go through it, so he just gave it to me.
Yeah.
I fucking blew through that, dude. It's so good. I put it on everything. It's the perfect amount of heat. Even if you don't like heat, I think you would like this. It would be perfect for you for sure, because you can handle some heat. Yeah. But, I mean, it's not I've eaten, jalapeno peppers that are, sometimes will hit me harder than that sauce, but the taste of it, I mean,
so
goes great with eggs, pasta,
and it's
anything.
It's orange in color, so it looks like it would be pretty hot. Actually, I mean, the real hot stuff is that dark, violent-looking red.
Right.
But if you don't know your hot sauces, you would see that orange and think, that's kind of hot. But it's not.
No.
It's got just really good flavor.
It is the color of the
jalapenos.
Yeah,
but
man.
Like you just said, sometimes you'll bite a jalapeno and it's, what the fuck did I just do?
Yeah.
And it's nothing.
It's weird.
It's the consistency.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, JPEGs, sorry to interrupt, but JPEGs and I, we planted a garden and we planted some jalapenos. So this is the first year we've ever grown our own jalapenos. So I'm pretty excited to see how that turns out for us.
From my experience, the stuff in the store is a milder jalapeno that they use for more cooking. And then most of the time when I've had people's garden, because we have jalapenos, we're trying to grow habaneros this year. It looks like they're not going to come up.
Oh, damn.
We don't know. But the homegrown jalapenos always seem like they're fucking.
Well, hopefully if I get some, man, like if you guys come down or the next time, we podcast, I come up, I'll bring you some. So it's a very small garden, but it's just like tomatoes, peppers.
Of course you would have tomatoes.
Yeah, you got to make the sauce, son. But, but I mean, honestly, like in the middle of the summer, like tomato fresh, like BLTs could be like, you're not going to get much better, especially when it's like 90 degrees out there. You go out, pick the garden, wash it, cut it up, and the bacon, god damn.
It always tastes better when it's something you planted.
Oh, yeah,
like
100%.
Hunting, it's something you killed, butchered. It always tastes better.
Oh,
yeah, absolutely. So that was our day, and we're back BDC Studios, obviously. Just popping bottles and having a good time. So
we hit a bar on the way.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Had a couple beers there, or drinks there, and then tried to watch the Preakness race, but I didn't think
we left right before.
We left right before it started. So, but yeah, it's been a good day so far, and now we got Tower and BDC Studios, and we're fucking doing it.
Hell yeah,
giggity.
And that's it. Thanks for listening, guys.
All right, well, fuck me, right?
Dude, we didn't talk about this in our last podcast because we knew you were coming for episode 45, but you're currently in first place in the death pool.
Yeah, tied for first.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, you hit earlier. You didn't hit opening day like Spicy last year.
It was like the first 3 weeks or something.
Yeah. Who was it? I don't even remember. Do you remember?
It was an old musician, so I got the bonus points for that. And
so you got H points, you got bonus points, the 25 for musician, and you got first blood. So you had 50 points alone, just in bonus points.
Total ended up being 90 points.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And I was like, yee, this is awesome. Because you messaged me, because I had actually, I check it on the daily regular on my phone. And I checked it that morning. I didn't have nothing. And I was driving on 72nd and Dodge, heading to Skywalker Boxing to get some training in. And you messaged me saying, congratulations, you got the first hit. I'm like, what? Who died? I don't even know.
Yeah, who else is tied up there with you? Do you?
My buddy from work,
that's
Eddie
right.
Burns.
Yeah,
he's a guy from the job.
Yeah, fuck him too.
We got me and him both have 1 hit apiece. We're tied for first at 90, and it's your brother who has 3 or 4 hits.
The guy who he took second or third, Lemick.
Yeah.
He has 4 hits, but my brother has, I think, 2 or 3. So, but again, they didn't get any bonus points and stuff. But like we said, it is nice to be on the board. I'm on the board. You, my friend, are not. How shitty would that be? You go wire to wire, win last year, then if you don't even get a hit. But the thing is we were talking. You have a good YouTuber that he's dying of cancer. He's stopped all treatment. He's just essentially maintaining right now, and it's a solo pick. He's like in his 30s. So I think I worked it out, and his birthday is, I think, in July. So if he happens to die on his birthday, he could, I think, jump up and be like within 1 point of the lead. Like, so I mean, he's
points.
I worked out the math because he would have because he's so young and it's a solo pick. So that right there alone will jump him way up. But if he gets the bonus points for his birthday, if you die, that's what the MGK, right? Is that the bonus point? Because if you die on your birthday, there are bonus points.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't remember what the name of that bonus is.
I don't.
Yeah, his name is John Bain, a.k.a. Total Biscuit. He's a YouTuber. He's had terminal cancer for a while. He's born in 84. He's did all kinds of treatments, then experimental treatments, and then maybe less than a month ago, he said, you know what, it's getting worse. There's nothing they could do at this point. I'm only doing pain management.
Yeah.
And so he's, unfortunately for him, he's not going to make it. He's not going to make it. He's not going to make it. Which is great for me. It's bad for him.
Right. How did you know about him?
Just research.
Was it just a research? Because I'd done some research. I had never come across him specifically.
Oh, no?
So, and I didn't even know who he was until you told me about it. And I feel like I mean, there's YouTube's so big at this point, you don't know who's all big and who's all not. But I mean, I worked out the points, and if he dies on his birthday, he'll be right up there. And we have to figure out. I don't think we've ever talked. Cause last year we didn't have to deal with it, but if people tie, because we pay out the top 4 spots,
Right.
so like, do we take like first place, whatever that money is split between the two? Like, how do we do that?
We'll cross that bridge when we
Yeah,
get
I was
to
gonna say we could talk.
Maybe
We
a
don't
fight
have
to
to
the
talk
death.
about that.
I would say
now.
a fight to the death.
Yeah, rock paper scissors tournament.
I got
12
boxing
hours.
gloves in the trunk.
yeah. So,
hopefully
but
by the time
that
it's-
is that
hopefully
is
time it's
awesome.
out.
That Tower that you're in first place.
Yeah,
So
congrats.
This is my first year doing it too.
yeah. So yeah. Also, if you got your money you want to pay, we can take
Yeah.
the money for that
Oh,
at some
yeah, good
point.
call.
Definitely
So-
can do that. What was it per person?
It's like
25?
25.
25.
So
I'll
we
let
can
25
talk
know.
about
We'll
that
talk
later.
about
Though.
it.
Definitely.
But
How did it feel when you got the hit?
Well, like I said, I checked that late morning around 10, 11:30, and nobody had hit.
Yeah.
And it was I got done at work at 1. I was driving. It was either on a Monday or a Friday.
yeah, I don't remember.
I mean, big difference, but I know it was on one of those days because I trained with Coach Danny with our sessions on Mondays and Fridays in the afternoon, and I'm going down the street about 2 minutes away, and you message me, "Hey, congrats, you got the first pick." I'm like, "What? Who died?"
Yeah.
I did what?
I love to tell people when they get hits. Like, I love
Yeah,
that.
oh
Like,
my
cause
God.
I send it right away, especially if we like move up and I tell people. And like I had Barbara Bush, and that was my first hit. And then my uncle Frank, it was his first hit too, and he didn't play last year. So I was
Yeah.
like, "Hey man," I was like, "Hey brother, congrats on your first hit ever in the death pool." He's like, "Sweet, thanks. You too, man." Because we had the same pick. So, and he was super worried. He just wanted to not be skunked. And I think that everybody's first thing, they want to win, but if they can't win, they don't want to get skunked.
No.
And so, like, I mean, if you guys remember last year, or we talked about it, I didn't get a hit till November, and my uncle, he was super worried about it. He's like, "I don't want to fucking wait that long." So now that he has it, he's like, okay, now, I don't know if he's like doing research and stuff, but I know like the degenerate, he's doing research. Like he traded out Kendrick. Like he just did it for this. He just did it for the spite pick for us.
Yeah.
But I can't remember who he ended up picking up. But he traded him out. So
I want to say me and him both, we picked up Larry Nasser on the same day.
yeah. See, I have him,
Okay.
but I don't have him in our pool. I have him in the
gotcha.
Killer Termites, the one you and I are in.
Gotcha.
So we paid like was it $3 to get into another one that they give out prizes, and I don't have a hit in that.
I don't either,
But
which
I don't understand because the person who's in first place in that has 4 hits and it's over 300 points.
What the?
Yeah, it's fucking insane.
For something like that, the Killer Termites, nobody's in there picking Barbara Bush and shit like that. Every swing is a fucking home run swing.
Yeah.
So
Man.
so I got a bunch of young guys, people with Lou
Yeah.
Gehrig's disease and shit like that. Like
Yeah.
unlikely people. No locks.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't, like in this one, I got some locks. Like I got George H.W. Bush,
Yeah.
people like that. And Killer Termites, it's the one Stan Hope is in.
Yeah.
And people pay and they win prizes.
Yeah, I
So-
think first place is like a 46-inch TV or something. They give out a tablet and stuff.
Yeah.
And I the odds of me winning, I knew aren't well, but I still like I like to support them, and it's fun to be a part of because it's unlimited people. You just you just pay like you said the $3 to get in.
Who's the UFC? Who's the fighter who's out of Vegas heavyweight? I'm drawing a blank on his name. He just fought Bellator. He'll be a UFC.
Rampage?
Nope.
He's with Bellator.
He just fought in Bellator. I draw
Frank
a blank.
Mir.
Yeah,
Frank Mir.
Yeah,
Frank
he
Mir's in
just
it.
fought.
Just got knocked out by the Russian dude. Probably the best
Fedor.
Fedor
Yeah.
Shlemenko. Yeah.
Yeah.
Frank Mir is in the Killer Termites.
Yeah.
With us. I think Paulie Shore's in it. Like
Nice.
they're celebrities.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
So nobody's gonna be like, oh yeah, good job on getting fucking, George H.W. Bush. You have to come with heat in that one. So
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
all
And
my. So I don't have zero.
I have some. I'm trying to think of so Larry Nassar, or however the fuck you pronounce that.
Yeah.
Fucking cunt's name.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
Oh,
Seriously.
yep.
But like I have him. I have like Vince McMahon. I picked him. I don't remember it. I had picked like I kind of took a play out of your book. So
Okay.
like you were like looking at other people's stuff.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I like looked through everybody in our home, and
Yeah.
I picked up like my uncle. He has Chubby Checker. I was like, that's a solid pick.
Yep.
Killer Termites, and I think it's a solo pick in Killer Termites for
shit.
me maybe. So I had done that and shit like that. But yeah, I'm excited. There hasn't been a real big death. There was somebody I can't remember where they had like 46 hits and like 44 of them were like solo hits. So we dropped. We were up as high as 34th place overall. Currently, as of today, we're sitting 52nd.
Okay.
52nd. So
Out of
we're
how
still
many?
Really good,
we're
man.
still very.
Out of how many?
It opens. It's over 200. Over
Oh,
200
hell yeah.
people. So, but I think last year the highest we ever got was like 48. And so like when
Yeah.
That was like the first day.
yeah, when you and your buddy hit, you guys put us up like we were sitting like 32nd. Like we were
Yeah.
up there because
We each had
it was-
90.
Yeah, 180 points right up there.
Because
So
it goes off of total points divided by members.
yeah,
So
because like I said,
average.
because Killer Termites, there's so many points, but
spread out
overall
over
we're like
hundreds of people.
74th overall in
yeah.
that.
How many members
So-
do we have? Like
22, I think.
I was gonna say it was
21,
20
I
Twenty-one?
think.
Okay.
But
Yeah, we got room for 30. We were trying to get 30, and then people backed out, and then it just didn't work. I think it'll
Thank
keep
you, you
growing.
fucks.
Yeah, I think it'll keep growing each year, and as it keeps growing, the payouts will be bigger, and we could pay more people.
yeah,
But like we've talked about it before, we're never not gonna play this.
It's fun,
This is
dude.
forever.
even
This
if
is
it's
my
even
first- this is
literally
my first one.
even
It's
if it's
fun.
just us three, like you know what I mean.
I'll play
like,
for the rest of my life.
Yeah, and I think a lot
Definitely.
of people will. I know, like a couple people have said, like if they don't get a hit, they're not gonna play. They're like, it's not even worth my time. Like it is though. So, Jesus, Zima down. We still got 7 left.
one down. Hey, I'll tell you what. If I ever get famous, just saying, definitely put me on that your death pool.
Oh, yeah.
It's
100%.
you should.
Yeah. As
crazy as I live
I
my
would
life
do it
sometimes.
just because, hey, I know him. He's going on my list.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Tower's going to Vegas. He might die.
well, there's 50-50 shot, honestly. I think that's for anybody. So, and that's pre-shooting.
Now, have you guys participated in trade rounds?
Not this year yet.
Okay.
I looked. Like, I like to do it, but I just know if I trade somebody out and that person ends up dying and I had him, I would be so fucking angry.
Yeah.
I do have a little bit different strategy. So, like, my list from last year is pretty similar to this year. So, it's not like some people will do a lot of research and just try, like, every year do better. I feel like if I get, like, a good select 20 amount of people, eventually one year, give or take, maybe 5 different people. That group of people will hopefully win me. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
I
you
can
just,
see that.
You know, you can do it that way.
That's smart.
Again, it just depends. If there are some 100% locks, I'll do. Especially like with the trade round, because there's some where I'm like, well, maybe I'll have that person, but I see a picture of them, they look pretty healthy. But this year I haven't really put a lot into it, just because I had a lot of confidence in my list. Like I had Barbara and George Bush. Well, Barbara's gone. Hopefully Georgie goes. I have John
He's gonna
McCain. He'll probably go.
Unfortunately,
Maybe.
I like that guy.
But
I got Bill Cosby, and he got sentenced.
Yeah.
Thank you, America.
fuck him,
Finally.
I got him too.
But-
Fuck him.
And his sentencing hearing is how long? How they space it apart a
I don't know. It's
stupid
got to be
amount
coming
of
up
time.
here in a few months.
I'm hoping it's sooner than later, because the moment that guy goes into the jail or wherever, he's gonna die soon.
Yeah,
he's
probably.
old. He ain't gonna last long.
Yeah.
So I was really
he'll
glad.
die in jail for sure. So yeah, so that's it. And like I think we had talked about a couple podcasts before. I didn't pick him, and you said you could not pick him,
Right.
I
like because he's
picked
just
him.
a piece of shit.
He's a piece of shit. I had him last year. and
Yeah,
I-
yeah. I think I have him in Killer Termites
Okay.
just because I would like to get at least one hit in that as well.
Yeah.
I don't want to like be skunked in that, but. Yeah, man. I mean, there's some good picks that I have that would get me some good points. I think it's a solo pick. What's her face? She had a stroke last year. Loretta. She's a country music
Loretta
star.
Lynn.
Yeah, so I think I have her. I can't remember if it's a solo pick or not, but musician points.
Musician
So
points.
I'm hoping maybe.
Yeah, she's for sure like a lock.
What is
Yeah.
it? 25 points for
25
musician.
points for musicians. Yeah.
I got Cher.
Yeah, I had her last year.
She's
but,
in. Well, it's actually last I checked, because I also do the research on how their health is, and she was doing better at one point in time, but it's still kind of
Yeah.
on standby.
I can't remember if I have Stan Lee or not, but I know he's knocking on the door. But he's
in
again
his 90s.
he's again one of those where like I would rather not get the points. I would rather
I hear you.
If
Yeah.
I didn't have any hits and it's a choice of him going and I get the points or I get skunked, I would rather go skunked because I love Stan Lee.
He was just in the hospital, wasn't he?
Yes,
And he
yes,
put
not
out a
long
video
ago.
telling everyone thank you for the support and
Yeah.
everything. I mean, he doesn't look good at all, but how old is he?
91 or at
Well, heaven
least
forbid,
90.
I ain't gonna live to see 90. So
Yeah.
good fucking for you.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But it is exciting. We have it. I know Sergeant Medina. He got a good hit, and he jumped up into like 4th or 3rd place,
Yeah.
and because he had some good bonus hits. So and he's actually. I know we talked about this before, but he's the OG. He's the one who got it started
Yep.
on the death pool,
Yep.
like in 2012 when we first
Yep.
signed up. He's
Yep.
the one who put it together. So, and then because of this podcast, we're like, that's something that needs to be a staple of this podcast.
Absolutely.
It's just like food, death pool, hot ones. Like Jesus, that's all this podcasts are about.
Yeah.
And all it needs to be about.
Yeah, of course.
Dude, I love it so much, and yeah, I've done 2 trade rounds so far.
Yeah,
Can't remember who I dropped, but I picked up Larry Nasser.
yeah.
He's the doctor for the women's Olympic gymnastics team. That's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he's not going to do well in prison,
No,
hopefully.
no.
And so I'm guessing either a murder or suicide, which
Yeah.
bonuses. And then if he dies, even without bonuses, that's a win for everybody.
Yeah.
I picked him up, and then unfortunately, the guy that did the cha-cha slide, and I can't think of his name off the top of my head, he's got terminal cancer.
Oh shit, I didn't know
yeah.
that.
Yeah. So he's a musician, and he's maybe 50 or something like that. I don't think he's
Yeah.
too old. So that's a good one. You know, it sucks for him if he dies, but fuck, I need it.
Take
Yeah.
the points.
Yeah, definitely. But like we said, it's so crazy because none of us up to this point score a lot of points. So even if somebody dies on the 31st, December 31st, that could win it for somebody.
Absolutely.
100%.
Dude, I was horrified about that last year. Like, winning the whole 364 days, and then if somebody got a hit on the last call bonus,
So
I'd have-
good.
I could've lost.
I mean, I love that they have that. Just
Yeah,
so
me
we're-
too.
So everybody's aware. Like I absolutely, even if I were to lose, I've been like I would be for sure pissed off if I was in first place and somebody else got it and jumped ahead of me. But
On the
I
last
like
day.
that's also fucking pretty sweet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah, so yeah, we said last week we wanted to talk about it, but we're like, no, we're gonna have Tower, and he's currently sitting up first. We need to get his opinion,
Yeah.
and we already talked about Death Pool a shit ton, so maybe we'll just skirt past it. So yeah, dude, that's fucking awesome. I didn't know you had checked it the day before because I know you had told
No,
me.
I checked it that morning.
that morning, but
and nothing had hit, and it was like I said, it was between 9 and 10:30, and when I was driving to training, it was probably between 2:30 and 3:30,
Yeah.
and you messaged me, and I was like, what?
yeah, that's fucking awesome. It's always like that adrenaline rush when you see it. So
I got a few hits on there. I'm this may sound inhumane, but dear Lord, baby Jesus, let these motherfuckers die.
Yeah.
I got Jerry Sandusky on there.
Oh, yeah.
I do, like I said, I do research on how their health is, and he is not doing well. It's
really?
He has pen pals.
well, of course, there's people probably who want to marry him.
Oh, that
Weird fucks.
we live in a sick world. But yeah,
That's a great pick, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he dies.
Do you know, is that a solo pick for you?
I think it is.
Yeah.
I got Jerry Sandusky as a solo pick and Logan Paul.
Yeah.
I picked Logan Paul because he's that YouTube guy.
Yep.
He did that video in
Suicide.
Japan.
Forest.
Suicide Forest?
Yeah.
Is that Japan or
Japan.
Japan. And he got a shit ton of death threats. And
Yeah.
I mean, if I get a shit ton of death threats, I'm going to feel like a shitty person.
Right.
But he's also filthy rich. He's probably just like, fuck you, I don't care.
Yeah.
But I put him on there just because it'd be a shit ton of points, and
Sometimes
he is
you
kind of
gotta-
a piece of shit.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. Sometimes you gotta swing for the fence like that because, like, it maybe the odds of
sure.
him dying aren't. But if something were to happen, like, because he's
He's
a
a young
kid.
guy,
He's
he's
like
out
what,
there, yeah.
22, 23
Yeah.
maybe.
You don't
so-
know what's going. Well, we all do because we were that age,
Right.
that stupid.
But none
whenever
of us
we-
had millions of dollars. Like,
Right. Yeah,
that,
off of YouTube.
I mean, I guess I won't speak for you guys, but I definitely didn't. So
and off of just doing YouTube videos.
Yeah.
That's how he made his
good,
money.
good hustle, man.
But,
Anybody,
I mean,
fucking hustle.
Yeah.
For sure.
mocking a dead body, dude. Come on.
Yeah, weird as shit.
And I
But
got a couple locks. I feel like, and
Mm-hmm.
we'll just see how it plays out. But I just love it.
yeah, crazy. Speaking of crazy, which I don't think it's crazy at all. I think it's pretty fucking awesome. But you're training for a marathon, right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, dude. That's I really want to talk to you about this. So I feel like, I mean, I'm super fat and out of shape. I could do a marathon. I couldn't do it in the time allotted. It would be a lot of walking. I could probably do it in like 12 hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
some people don't even finish, so 12 hours is awesome.
Yeah, exactly. What made you want to do it? Like, how's the training going? Like, all of that.
Honestly, ever since I got started into fitness and MMA, I've always liked accepting new challenges.
Okay, yeah.
I've always been a fan of that. Like, can I run 10 miles today? I don't know. Can I? Fuck it. We're going to try and see if I can do that. And I also, I mean, you guys know I'm a big fan of the Joe Rogan podcast.
Right.
Multiple other podcasts. And he'll have guests on there like Cameron Haynes, who does ultra marathons.
Oh,
yeah. I can't remember. God, I feel bad for this. I can't remember the guy's name, but he runs marathons, and his average mile time is like 7 minutes or 6 minutes.
Well, he ran. I can't think of his name either, but I listened to that podcast, and he broke
the world record.
The world record for the 100 miles, and he averaged
7
minutes a mile for the 100 miles.
Fuck you.
Yeah,
that's yeah. And I hear things like that, and I'm just like, you know, if you actually applied yourself and did it, you could be like that. I mean, I don't commit 100%, but I mean, it gets me off my ass to want to try.
Dude, that's fucking awesome. Have you done a marathon or a half marathon?
I've never even done a halvesy.
Have you done like a 3K or 5K or anything?
I've done 5 and 10Ks.
Okay.
But I've never done a halvesy or a marathon. Like I said, I just like doing challenges, and friends of mine have been like, you should try a halvesy just to see if you can do that even. And I'm like, I'll go all in.
Yeah.
But I mean, I also paid this extra dollar fee for insurance purposes if for whatever reason, if I can't run or if I want to switch to that halvesy, I can. But that will be like a last minute decision. Training right now, I mean, it's not easy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's what I was going to ask. When are you running when is the marathon?
October. I can't remember the day, but it's not October, September, sorry.
September. Okay. What marathon is it?
The Omaha Marathon.
So it is the Omaha Marathon.
Lincoln just had theirs
the
week or two ago.
Yeah, Mother's Day weekend or something.
Yeah, I wanted to do that one, but I hadn't been trained. I figured, well, Lincoln I think has one. They have 2 a year, don't they?
I think it's just the one.
Oh, okay. Well,
maybe I don't know. I could be wrong.
I couldn't remember because I've actually always thought about doing a marathon.
Yeah.
I just couldn't remember when Lincoln did theirs, and then I found out. Oh yeah, it's today. Shit. Well, who else has a marathon? Omaha has one in September.
Right. Well, I mean, they usually. I think especially the Lincoln one, like it sells out. Like you have to be. Like I remember we were out one night. I think it might have been for like New Year's Eve, and as soon as like it opened up at midnight and people were on there, and it like sold out in like 10 minutes or something. Like there's so many spots, like a lot of people. You gotta. That could be way wrong, you know. But no, but I don't think it's crazy. I think it's fucking awesome. Yeah. 26.2 miles. It is far to run.
Yeah. Fuck the 26 miles. It's the 0.2 that kills you.
Yeah. But from what I've read and I've heard people do it, it's like I think it's like that 20-mile mark is like the hardest. Like you know, like that's when people start cramping up and shit. But what's your training regimen look like for this?
Like, well, I mean, I used to run a shit ton on a treadmill. I would run 7.5 miles in an hour on a treadmill and not even be tired.
Right.
And I'd be like,
it's a way different type of
running. It's way different. I ran it was about a week or two ago. I only ran 5.5 miles on a trail, and my legs were like, fuck you.
Yeah.
The other day I ran 8 miles on the trail, and same story, fuck you. But what I've changed up since then, when I'm running on a treadmill, I put the incline to 1 or 1.5 to make it feel more like an actual trail. And I only do that on like when it's weather conditions won't permit. I don't want to run in the rain. So,
right.
But otherwise,
you know it's gonna rain during the just so we're
from here on out. If it's nice out, I'll run on a trail, and just trying to keep a steady pace. That's the hard thing. Like right now, my goal is I ran 10 miles that one time, but 7.5 of it was on a treadmill, and the rest of it was on a trail.
Okay.
So I'm I'm making adjustments. It's a learning process.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I got 4 months basically. So I feel like I got enough time, but I need to be running at least. I mean, Cameron Haynes, he runs a marathon every day.
Right, yeah. He splits it up, but yeah, he runs at least 26 miles a day. So.
Yeah, he wakes up early, runs a significant amount. On his lunch break, he'll run a small amount. Then at the evening, he'll finish it. I don't have that luxury. So what I'm trying to do, like right now, starting next week, I want to get 10 miles in. I'll do one, what I'll call heavy run a week. Just my heavy run is like up 2 to 2.5 miles. Like I kind of did the math. By the time it comes to time to run the marathon, it'll somewhat add up. But like next week, my goal on my heavy day is 10.5 miles, and every other day that I decide to run, it'll be like 8 miles minimum. And then the following week, it'll be 12 or 12.5 miles, just slow upgoing process. I'm hoping by the end of May or early June, I've already completed doing the halvesy, 13.1 miles. And yeah, just go from there. I think I haven't been training MMA. I took a little bit of time off, but I am going to be starting back up next week. I finally got a Brazilian-style jiu-jitsu gi. I've been meaning to do it for years now, but I finally committed and bought a gi. And my coach, Scott Morton, is one of the best Brazilian jiu-jitsu coaches you can get anywhere. Nice. He is great. And I don't want to... he doesn't get too critical, but he'll dumb it down for you if you need. For my instance, you need to dumb it down for me.
Right.
And I'm excited about that. But I feel like the MMA training aspect, it's going to help with the marathon, definitely. And the MMA, or me doing the marathon training, is going to help me with my fight training as well. Because, like, 3 or 4 weeks ago, I went to one of my good friends. He was having a cookout because he's getting married in October. We're having his bachelor party in July. We're going to the Ozarks for that.
Oh, nice.
His future father-in-law, who works for Budweiser, so you can tell we get along.
Yeah.
We actually do. We bond because we're both St. Louis Cardinals fans, but yeah, fuck you. But he's like, wow, hey, you look a little bit slimmer since I last seen you. I was like, were you saying I'm fat? And he's like, what have you been doing? I'm just running. Running. I mean, I do weightlift, but I don't do a lot because, I mean, I carry on a lot of muscle more than I actually want to, as weird as that sounds.
Right.
Because it gets tiring of carrying it around. But yeah, I've seen results from consistently running long distance, and it's definitely been beneficial.
Dude, that's fucking awesome. Have you ever done like a marathon or anything, Spicy?
No, I did do, I guess the only thing comparable to that is I did the Manchu Mile when I was in Korea.
Okay.
And what that is it's 25 miles.
Damn.
It's a ruck march. So it's you get a belt buckle and everything. I still got it. It's probably over there on my shelf. But you do 25 miles, and it's to commemorate the Manchus, the 9th Infantry Regiment, 100-something years ago in Tianjin, China. They did a 100-mile road march.
Jesus.
Probably to go to fucking combat.
Right.
So doing a 25-mile march, it's not that tough. So it was hard as fuck. We had probably a 50-pound rucksack. You're in your boots, your uniform, your fucking vest, your load-bearing equipment, your rifle, your helmet. And it was in the mountains in Korea, and it was cold. It was fucking cold. So we did that, and it beat me up. I mean, your feet are sore for days and shit like that.
I bet.
It was cold. But on that note, and I don't want to get away, I want to get back to that. But on that note, I watched. There's a documentary on Netflix about the Battle of Chosin in Korea in 1950. Solid documentary.
Do you know the name of the documentary?
No, but if you Google Chosin
Right.
Battle of, I think it's something like the Battle of Chosin or the Chosin Few, something like
Okay.
that. But it came out, I think, last year, but it's new to Netflix, and it's super interesting.
Nice.
A lot of people have probably heard of it. I'll give a quick rundown if you want.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So communism was taking over. North Korea decided to fucking push into South Korea. They did. They made it all the way down south to the Sea of Japan. Communism looked like it was done. America came in. General MacArthur's troops. This is 1950. Yeah, 1950. So this is after World War II. A lot of guys were like, that's what they want to do. They want to fight.
Yeah.
They were too young to go to World War II. This is their chance. The Korean War, if you don't know about it, research it. They call it the Forgotten War. It was a nightmare. So America came in, and they fought all the way back to the 38th parallel.
Jesus.
And then MacArthur said, you know what? Fuck that. Let's just keep going. So they pushed back to the border, but then they decided to push all the way forward. They got up to the Chosin Reservoir, and they ended up getting surrounded. So the Chinese troops, I can't remember the name of that. I don't know if it's a president or emperor, like Tao, I think. They flooded North Korea. So they had like 200,000 or plus Chinese troops helping. Russia was backing them also.
Holy shit.
So they had Russia and China because they were trying to use communism to take over. So there are all these Chinese troops there. General MacArthur did not think that many Chinese troops were going to be there. Mm-hmm. It's like a proxy war for Russia, and then China got involved. So anyway, China was doing these probing attacks, like attacking hard and then bouncing back to check their, check their lines and check for weaknesses. So they supply lines were spread out, troops were spread out. There was an army battalion on the west of the Chosin Reservoir. There was a couple Marine units, and then there was a battalion down south. The troops get 100% surrounded. They were outnumbered 6-1, 10-1. I mean, it was hundreds of thousands of troops to a way lesser amount of U.S. military. And the U.S., they thought, that the whole 1st Marine Expeditionary Unit was going to get wiped out, eliminated.
Yeah.
All of them. That's never happened in the U.S. military.
Right.
They fought their way out. They fought frostbite. This was severe cold and wind, negative 30-degree temperatures. When I was in Korea, it was 2000 and when the fuck was I in Korea? 2000 it was 2000 and 2001.
Okay.
It was 50 years approximately after the Korean War. It was the coldest it had been in Korea since the war.
Since then.
Oh, fuck.
And it was, other than that, the weather is comparable to here in Korea,
Fucking
where I was
hate
at.
cold.
Like hot summers, cold winters.
Right.
It was cold. We had a uniform called Equus, which is extreme cold weather, and it was pretty much parapropylene, like underwear, a bear suit, which I don't even know if you've seen an army bear suit.
I've
it
never
looks like
seen
a
one.
fucking thick, full wool.
Yeah.
Like it looks hairy, and then Gore-Tex.
Holy
we didn't wear BDUs. We wore Equix for a large part of that winter because
Oh
it was
my
that cold.
God.
They suspended some training and shit. And then we
Sounds
had
like
everything. You had to cover everything.
Sounds horrible. I was going to say sounds like hell, but you know what I mean.
Well, and here's the thing. The difference is, in 2001, we had Gore-Tex, we had polypropylene, we had cold, all this shit, and we weren't in combat. So 50 years earlier, they were in a war with Korea, Russia, China, in wool and rubber, fighting a war. Guys didn't have food, they didn't have water, they were trapped. They fought their way out, and they saved South Korea.
That's fucking
People
insane.
said they retreated, and General MacArthur says it wasn't a retreat because we were surrounded. Everywhere we were going, we were in an attack.
Yep.
But they
I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
It's a 2-hour documentary. Watch it. I've heard about it for years. They dropped turkeys.
Yeah.
Over Thanksgiving. They were supposed to be home by Christmas, and it extended. And it was the forgotten war in Korea, but it was a horrible, in the mountains of North Korea and the cold, like the coldest fighting environments I think in the history of the U.S. military.
Damn.
But it's a horrible story. A lot of guys died. They said the rubber boots worked when you were moving, but then your feet would start sweating as soon as you stopped moving or fell asleep.
Oh, no.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they had guys with frostbite injuries.
I
They said
bet.
by the time they got back, they had to cut their boots off, and their toes got stuck in the boot.
Oh,
Guys lost all sorts of. They said that guys would get shot, and it was so cold that the blood would just coagulate,
yeah,
freeze.
it's just like right away.
The doctor said, eventually they'd get them thawed out, and they'd start bleeding again, and realize they have 4 or 5 bullet wounds, and guys were dying. Guys got left behind. Like it was a complete nightmare. So we'll go back to the road march, and then we'll go back to the tower. I don't want to get away.
Yeah,
from that.
that's a way to bring the mood up there, bud.
Anyway, solid documentary. But yeah, Korea it's cold, and they were in the mountains in North Korea fighting. The Manchu Mile, 25 miles full everything, full kit in the mountains. It was challenging for sure. But I was a young buck then. I was 21 years old.
Rubber boots.
I still got my Manchu belt buckle.
Yeah, I would too. Fuck yeah, man.
You can wear it with any. I still wear it with my Class A uniform. I wear my Manchu belt buckle with the 9th Regiment with the snakes on it. And after that, we got to see the Liscombe Bowl. The 9th Regiment is in 2ID, and it's a pretty stout military outfit, if you will.
Right.
So, shouts out Manchu. But that's the closest thing. I'm not a runner. The farthest running, when I was active duty, we would run a lot. I've done the fucking, me and you did the, Warrior Dash?
Yeah, the Warrior Dash.
I've done the Spartan Race. Those are 3 miles. I'm not built for running.
Yeah.
I got a bad right leg. I got to run 2 miles for the Army. That's the furthest I run now.
Right.
So, and I get like 18 minutes to do it because I'm an old man. And I need those 18 minutes.
Take every advantage you can get.
I need those 18 minutes for sure.
Well, to get back to the marathon, from like when you're doing it, like you don't. I think like I've read like or heard people talk about like when they're training for it, you don't really actually run like a full marathon while training. I mean, you probably can to make sure you can do it, but a lot of times you're just doing like maybe like the most you do is like 17 miles or something like that, right?
Yeah, I did like I said, I did a little research on it. One thing I didn't even think about considering, but it's a must need. I plan on running with like Joe Rogan wears one. What are those things that
fanny pack?
Fanny pack. I'm probably gonna have a fanny pack, and it's gonna have salt capsules in it.
Oh yeah.
I
don't think
the guy who did the 100-mile run, he said he would take one every hour or 2 hours,
something like that. But I think for like the ultra marathons, it comes more into play than just like a regular. I'm sure it 100% will help for for a marathon, and I would definitely do it, especially if it's your first one,
Mm-hmm.
But for the ultra marathons, you were right, it was Cam who wasn't taking it on his first one. I thought
he was dying.
Yeah, he was dying.
He felt like shit.
He said so.
And then a guy ran by him. Mm-hmm. Are you taking salt capsules? And he's like, no. And
like, why
the
would
guy
I take
hooked
a
him
salt
up with some, and he felt way better.
Yeah.
That one time I said I felt like I didn't run very well. It was 5.5 miles. I wasn't really hydrated. I think I only had like maybe 50 or 60 ounces of water.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't really eat much that day. And I felt fine for about the first 3.5 miles, but then I just started feeling like dog shit after that. But yeah, I do plan on, and I'm hoping about a month and a half before the actual marathon, I can try and get to 26.2 miles just to push myself to make sure I can do it. But I only plan on doing it one time.
Right.
Until the actual race.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've done a little bit of research on it, and yeah, there's a few tricks you can do. Like I said, the salt capsules.
Like a bicycle?
I wish.
You get those shoes with the
wheelies?
Yeah, with the wheelies.
No, the salt capsules, that I would have never thought of, and it makes perfect sense. Retain some of that water so you don't dehydrate.
How is the route? Do you know what the route is already?
I have not looked at the route. That was actually going to be one of the next things I do in the next week or two. I'm going to look up what the route is, because I hate running uphill.
So there is the thing that I've seen people do, and I don't know if every marathon does it, but you can get, I don't know what it's called, but it's essentially like a runner's map or whatever, but it's like a tattoo. It's like a temporary tattoo that you could place, and it tells you every mile, like mile 18 to 19 is like all uphill. Like it gives you like the elevation, so you know. So like when you're running, you can like look. I only know about it because Bert Kreischer on his podcast, he did the LA Marathon, and his buddy told him about it, and he did it. He goes, it saved him. So he like knew if he had to like push through, like I could just push through this next half mile because it's uphill, and then it's just like slightly downhill. So if the Omaha Marathon has something like that, I would maybe just suggest that.
I would definitely look into it.
Yeah, I think that would be fun, just to see like the elevation and know it. I think he just put it either, and it was pretty small. I think he maybe just had it on top of his hand. You could probably maybe put it on your forearm or whatever.
Did he do the full marathon?
Yeah, he did.
What did they say his time was?
It was like 5 hours and 33 minutes.
Okay,
so
my goal.
That was gonna be my next question. Is what your goal was?
To qualify for the Boston Marathon is 3 hours and 5 minutes. Obviously, I'm not gonna get that. I think that's average like 7 7-minute or 7-minute 03 per mile. I figured I'd give myself more than enough wiggle room. I want to under 4.5 hours is my goal.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a pretty solid
Originally, I said 4 hours. Then I started training, and I'm like, okay, let's up it a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's good to adjust, to know, especially for your first marathon, man. There's nothing wrong with that, and I think like it's
might
crazy.
Be the first and last.
But like I know, like when you first start, like they give you the chip and then maybe in like your ID number or whatever, and that's when you cross. But when you first go, you're not gonna be able to like fully run and stuff. The first couple miles might just be where you're super tight, and like with people, and then get out and finally bust it out. But dude, I think it's fucking awesome, man. I wish you nothing but luck with it. So it's gonna be fucking. I'm excited to see how you do. You said 4.5 hours.
4.5 hours is my goal.
So
yeah, you got this, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about let's talk nipples real quick before we get off. Because I know people complain about bloody nipples and shit like that. Like, are you using Band-Aids or?
Did you see my Instagram the other day?
I thought you were gonna say, "Have I seen your nipples?" I've seen them a bunch, man. You're a fighter.
Yeah. Have you seen my? It was a week or two ago. My Instagram. It says that feeling when you get home, and what was it? Right when you get out of the car and when you get home, you get that feeling, and it's quote from Horrible Bosses. You can't run a marathon without putting some bandages on your nipples. Oh, it felt like hell. Oh my God. For about a day and a half, my nipples were raw. There's a picture of, oh God. The guy from The Office, the main guy, Steve Carell.
Yeah.
There's a picture of him and another actor. He's on the same show. I can't remember the name, but he's wearing a white baggy shirt, and where his nipples are, they're bloody.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
It's bad,
yeah.
And I'm like, ugh.
It's from an episode of The Office, right?
Is that what it's from?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought that was an actual picture.
I think Meredith gets bit by a bat or something and gets rabies, so they do a run for rabies.
Right,
or something.
yeah. I've like I said, I'm going through The Office now, so I've only seen like each episode once. But yeah, I haven't
seen that episode.
They do a charity.
I thought it was an
run
actual picture.
Oh no, it's actually from The Office.
I want to say it's a charity run for rabies or something because
it's something ridiculous like that. Yeah, absolutely.
But it's not even a long run. Like a 5K or something.
Yeah.
But ever since that feeling, I've put like tape on them, and it's benefited a lot. I did research on that. They say you should put surgical tape or some kind of gel on there, and you should do not wear a tight compression shirt. Wear a baggy shirt. Well, I mean, I don't have many baggy shirts.
Right. Well, I know that I've seen pictures.
Sucks.
I've seen
it's not
pictures
a good feeling.
of people like where they'll have like a big thing. It's just like a piece of wood. And it just has Vaseline on it for people to like to run by and like swipe.
Oh, well,
I don't know. I mean, hopefully, maybe somebody will do that.
Or
but
bait.
Yeah.
Either swipe for your nipples or
someone's already going to do it. Because,
Yeah.
Someone's already going to do it because I'm going to tell them to do it. Hey, put a deal of Vaseline so when I run by.
Right. I would just do like Band-Aids or something. I have rubbed a nipple raw before. It's definitely not working out. I was tubing. And the vest that I wore, I didn't wear an undershirt, and on the inside of the vest it was mesh. And so the first time I wrecked, you start going on the tube, you get cold obviously, and it just fucking wore it all the way down, and it sucked for a couple of weeks, man. So yeah, I mean, obviously I didn't do it through exercise like normal people, but I have done it, and I was like 16 or something. It sucked.
Not a good feeling.
No. But yeah, man, you just gotta keep Vaseline this way if you want to go off to the side and just get rid of some weight.
Hey, speaking of Vaseline, it was a few podcasts ago. The
Tarzan.
Yeah. I can't. Did I message on Facebook or did I actually tell you or text one of you?
I can't remember.
I listened to that episode, and I think it was the night of GSP and Bisbing fight.
Yeah.
I was drinking, and I text you guys. I just listened to the episode, buying a deal of Vaseline.
Yes, you do. Yeah,
and
I
you're like,
remember
let us
that
know
text.
how it comes out.
I think it was a group text.
Funny story here.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, God, no. I originally grabbed a shopping cart. Was watching the fights at my friend's place. Yeah. I was going to go to the store to get a bottle of rum, Diet Pepsi, and my friend was like, "Hey, while you're at the store, grab a roll of duct tape." I was like, "Okay, yeah, whatever."
Shit's getting kinky.
I know, right? So I get to the store, grab my rum, my Diet Pepsi. I grabbed a deal of duct tape, and I had messaged you guys, I'm getting the Vaseline.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I grabbed the tub of Vaseline, and right before I get to the checkout counter, I was like, this does not look good.
Right, yeah.
This does not look good. I have a deal of duct tape, Vaseline, Coke, Diet Pepsi, and rum. I'm like, oh my God.
Great. You should have just went and bought like a box of condoms, like, just to throw it in there.
Part of me was like, I should just
bro.
add something else to the cart to make this more weird. But then I was like, I'll just put this back and do it
Did you ever
another
do
time.
that like when you were younger? I would, but like if I was in high school or whatever, and I went to go buy like a box of condoms, it was always so weird,
Yeah.
Like, I never had anybody else do it for me, but I would always get like just like a pack of gum. Like the gum made it better. Like, here's a box of condoms and a pack of gum. Like,
God.
like it just always made me feel better about like just buying that. So so I know exactly where you're like mentally where your
as
head
soon
is
as
at.
I mean, like I said, I was already buzzed when I got to the
Oh,
store.
yeah.
I didn't even think of it, and I get to the checkout counter. I was like, this does not look good.
So funny. Just
Yeah, so
Coca-Cola,
I
rum,
didn't
beep,
end up doing it.
Vaseline.
I didn't end up doing it. I do plan on doing it. Just, yeah. Oh, it was,
Oh my God, that is fucking
I didn't even
great.
bother telling my friend
Yeah.
about it when I got there. I was like, here's your duct tape for whatever reason. I don't know what you and your wife are into, but...
Right, that's so. It is probably just for like a project that
Yeah.
you need to fix something.
He was
or
nonchalant. He's
whatever.
like, hey, while you're there, just grab a roll of duct tape. And I think I'm pretty sure they were like remodeling downstairs. So
Right.
for whatever reason, he needed a roll of duct tape.
Yeah. Now, did it even cross your mind before, or was it until you like got to the checkout, or like when you had everything?
I had everything in the cart, and I was like, God, I better get back to the house because
Right.
the fight card was really good. I mean, the only one I can remember was GSP and Bisping.
Right.
But, oh yeah, Cody Garbrandt and TJ Dillashaw was the co-main.
Yeah.
And there was a couple other big fights.
Yeah, I didn't
wanted
get
to
to
see.
watch it, but yeah, it was a big
And
card.
I had left right after the preliminary card,
Right.
and I was like, oh, I gotta hurry. And then I looked down, I was like, shit, this doesn't look good.
That's so funny, man.
Oh, no.
Oh, that is fucking great. Cause yeah, Jesus, we're trying to record here.
Fuck off, Norton!
Fuck. But yeah, dude, that is fun. I bet like when it all clicked, you're like, oh shit.
This does not look good. Checkout person's gonna be like, I wonder what you're doing tonight. I'm gonna read in the newspaper here on the news tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't think I could like if I was like a checkout person and I saw something like that, I would 100% say something. Like just not like straight on, but just like, oh, I got an interesting night ahead of you. You know what I mean? Just like regardless of of what people are getting, I just think that would be like super funny.
But no, I felt bad because I had texted you. I was like, I got the Vaseline. And then I get to the checkout. I was like, not today. No, I don't. It was so... I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah, and so obviously you've heard Tarzan's story.
Yes.
Like that.
Hilarious.
He tells a story so well. And if you don't know what we're talking about, the story goes back, it's the beginning. I had a call at work where we found a dead guy and he died masturbating, which nothing wrong with that. But he died masturbating with Vaseline. So then we asked the listeners if anybody's masturbated with Vaseline. Nobody I'd ever talked to admitted to doing it. So Tarzan took one for the team, bought Vaseline, executed the mission, and then came on the podcast and told us about it. So I don't know what episode that is. He recorded it shortly after he came back from his deployment to Romania. It's the episode is, I don't know what number it is, but it is Romanian Fuck Palace. So that's it if you want to go back and listen to that. It's a great story. Great story. Yeah, dude.
I listened to that episode, and I could almost know exactly what he was talking about on how he had the gunk in his hands.
Oh, I bet, dude.
And you'd have to soap your hands. I compared it to like when I'm cutting weight for a fight.
Okay.
I'll rub Albaline all over my body.
What's Albaline?
Albaline? Albolene. It's a makeup remover.
Okay.
It opens up your pores.
Okay.
So when you put it on your body, I'll put it all over my body, put on a sauna suit,
Okay.
and I'll get on an elliptical or a treadmill or hit pads with Danny, and you just sweat like a fucking whore in a church.
I bet.
It opens up all your pores, and it just pours out of you.
Okay.
Like I'll be only running on a treadmill for 15 minutes when I'm fully hydrated, but when I'm done after those 15 minutes, I finally put my arms down.
Yeah.
Water
Gushing
just gushing out.
Man.
It's disgusting,
Yeah.
but after I rub the Albolene on my body, that's the exact feeling that it is on your hands. It's
Okay.
just gunked on you. You have to scrub and wash your hands to get that shit off. So I was like, it's probably very comparison to Albolene. It wouldn't be pleasant to do.
No,
but
you probably have to wash your hands multiple times. That's the thing. Like, I don't know how good it would feel, and maybe one day I'll try it out. But it just seems like it's not worth it because of the cleanup. Like, it's so messy.
No.
Vaseline is not.
I mean,
easy
just put on some fucking medical gloves. You have them here. That's what you cook with all the
Fuck,
time.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do it that way.
That's not a bad idea.
No,
At least off
doing
your
it
hands. You still gotta wipe it off the junk.
Yeah, that's
true. All 3 feet of your dong.
Yeah, that's a lot of time. That's a lot of time.
That's great. But now, speaking of fighting, you said that you took a break because you got injured. You couldn't do your last fight. Is that what it was, or is this too sore of a subject?
No, it's not too sore of a subject. There was speculation. People were saying I backed out because I was just being a pussy or scared.
Which, as we know, is probably the case. But
You get fucked. To those people that thought that, fuck you, royally. Half of you aren't even fighters and don't even know me or have even met me, so how the fuck would you know? But no. I ain't gonna go into great detail, but last December, before the Naraki fight, it was a rematch from our amateur career. Epic battle. Tip my hat off to him. He won by unanimous decision. Great fun fight. But before that fight, I was told we might have something lined up for you in March, and I said, that's cool. I don't want to fight 155 if I'm fighting in March.
okay.
February.
What's your normal fight weight?
I fight 155, but I walk around at 185, 190.
Okay. I was gonna say you're a lot more jacked than you were last time we saw you. So I didn't know if you went up a weight class or you just, since you don't have a fight.
No, I wish I could go up to 170, but for the listeners, my name, if you have listened before, it's an oxymoron. I am not tall. I am 5'8". Tower is my legit legal name. But if I were to fight 170, it'd be a total disadvantage for me because, I mean, people say I'm big for 155. That is not the case. I know people that are 6 foot, 6'1", jacked out of their minds, and I don't know how they make 155. But I'm only 5'8". I fight 155, and it's not an easy weight cut for me. But I told them I don't want to fight 155 because February is my birthday. February, my girl's taking me to Comic-Con in Kansas City.
Right.
I don't want to stress about a weight cut. I want to be able to enjoy myself a little bit. Otherwise, I don't want to fight at all. Well, they told me, we'll figure that out. 160, 165. If the fight makes sense, 170. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. So that was under the impression when I said, yeah, okay, we'll fight in March. I get my contract. It says fighter Tower Robinson agrees to weigh in at 155 with 1 pound allowance, 156. I'm like, this is not what we fucking talked about.
Right.
4 weeks before, and 4 weeks before I was at usually 4 weeks prior to a fight, I'm comfortable if I'm under 180. Well, in this case, I was not under 180. I was like 183, 184. And I need to be down to 155.
I mean, it could be done, but it would be horrible to do it.
It could be done for a person that doesn't have diabetes. I have diabetes.
30 pounds in
4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's not safe.
I was pushing it. I was taking in very small amount of calories. 2 days before the weigh-ins, I think I was finally down to 172.
Jesus.
So we were thinking, I was still hydrated at that point in time. We were thinking, you got plenty of muscle that's holding that water. You should be fine. And the day before weigh-ins, I just went for a run on a treadmill to get a little sweat, to get it going, get it started. Because the day before weigh-ins is pretty much the embrace the suck.
Right.
That's when it starts. And I got done running. I showered. I dried off. I put on a long sleeve shirt. I can't remember where it was I was going, but then I had the worst stomach pain. Like, I've had a gallbladder infection. I had my gallbladder removed my senior year of high school. I have not felt stomach pain since before, anywhere remotely close. And I called up my coach, Danny Molina, crying, in tears, saying, I don't know what's wrong. Something is not right.
Did you have to poop?
No, I wish that would have been the case. It's like, maybe.
Just poop. I do it every day.
Danny's like, are you dehydrated? I was like, it's the day fucking before weigh-ins. Of course I'm being dehydrated. And he's like, maybe sip on a little bit of water, eat half a granola bar. And I was like, okay. So I was driving into a gas station. By the time I got to the gas station, that long sleeve t-shirt was drenched. Soaked. Shit. In a matter of about 10-15 minutes. I was completely dry, and I don't know, it was the stress on the body that caused it.
Yeah.
But I walk into the gas station. I originally walked up to the granola bars, then everything just started spinning on me. At first I was like, maybe I'm just dehydrated, just get a bottle of water. I thought I was walking to the bottle of water cooler. I ended up at the front desk. And I just looked up. I was like, I think you need to call an ambulance.
Oh, shit.
And I collapsed.
Oh, damn. I didn't know it got that bad.
Yeah, I was, people think I'm lying about this. There are a couple people, ain't gonna say names, they said that he didn't end up in a hospital. Bullshit. Right. I was put into a EMT, taken to Brian... is Brian West or Brian, I want to say is, was taken to that hospital, and I was in and out. I remember waking up to answer the EMT's questions, and then I would just out again. And when I finally came to, I was in an emergency room. I had an IV in both arms, and I'm like, this isn't good. I'm probably not fighting this week. This sucks. Obviously I didn't fight that week.
So what did it end up being? Was it just dehydration, just trying to get it?
Massive dehydration. Go figure.
Right.
But I didn't know this. The doctor says it's a lot easier for a diabetic to become dehydrated versus a normal person. I did not know that.
Oh, I didn't.
Because, the fight before, in December, when I fought Troy Naraki, I made weight easily. I woke up 6.5 pounds over that morning. I sweated that 6.5 pounds in about an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Nice.
I made weight very easily. It sucked, but I made it very easily. And when they told me it's a lot easier for a diabetic to go get dehydrated, I was like, oh, I did not know that. That's news. Then, oh God, red or white count. I can't remember which one it was. Anything over 10 is bad. It's an infection. Mm-hmm. Mine was an 18.
I think that's white, isn't it? I have no idea.
I think your white count's supposed to be high.
Okay.
So I don't know. That's out of
something
mind.
cell count. Okay. I can't remember.
It's the blue cells.
Yep.
We did that. Then they wanted me to do a CT scan. I was strongly against it because I know how expensive fucking CT scans are. I was like, do we really have to do this? Because, I mean, I don't feel the greatest, but
Why did they recommend a CT for your head?
Vital
MRI?
MRI, yes, sorry.
Okay.
CT, yes. I've had a couple of those too.
MRI
to check my organs.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
they asked, I was like, I don't have a gallbladder, and they're like, well, we still want to check all your vital organs, especially your appendix. It may have ruptured. We just want to be sure. And I was like, I know you want to be sure, but if it's less than a 50% chance that that's likely, I'd rather not do it. Well, they talked me into it.
Okay.
$2,000 later.
Yeah.
Well, you could die if you're.
Yeah, I get it.
Appendix
It's better safe
But
than
it's
sorry.
But it's $2,000.
Nah.
Yeah,
It's better
I'm
safe.
a gambler, dude.
I get
I'm a gambler, homie.
I live my life day to day, so. But I went ahead and agreed with them, did that. And
I mean, it is
all my
probably good that you
yeah.
did it, let's be honest.
all my organs were good. Like I said, that cell count was way off. My blood work came back, and they said everything was fine. You probably just got a bug or some kind of flu very last minute.
Okay.
And I remember before I left the ER, they're like, we're just going to let you know, you're probably going to be in the bathroom a lot. I was like, I hate puking. I do not like throwing up.
You're right. Well,
I was like, so what do you mean? I'm going to throw up? And they're like, no.
see, I told you it was poop.
Yeah. Well, in this classification, I don't even know if you can call it poop.
Right.
It was horrible.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
I finally, when I got home that afternoon, I think I was in the bathroom at least 80% of the time.
Yeah, that sucks.
It was not fun. And seriously, I do not like backing out of a fight.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I don't think you even have a choice.
No.
I mean, you would, I mean...
The day before weigh-ins, I mean...
I was going to say, how much would you have weighed?
I don't think I would have made 56. At that point in time, my goal was to make 160, or what? I wanted to be under 161, because if I was under 160, between 161 to 156.1, it was 25% of show and win pay, but anything over 161 was 50% show pay and win pay.
Okay.
So, I mean, I had planned I wasn't going to make weight. After that run, I remember weighing in, I was like 168, 167. So I felt comfortable, but until
The day before?
Day before weigh-ins, yes.
Man, that's still 13 pounds, dude.
No 161?
Oh,
So
I
once I was...
thought you were 168.
It
doesn't matter. It just seems like a lot of weight still.
Oh, 161, 168, 7 pounds.
Yeah.
But it is a lot of weight. It's not easy.
No.
But that was my goal. I didn't think I was going to make weight. But, I mean, God, I apologize to my opponent, my supposed opponent, Micah Petrosky. I've never had bad blood with this guy. He's never had bad blood with me. I've never heard nothing but good things about him, and I hope the feelings are mutual. I want to say he's a nurse, so he has a little understanding of diabetes and everything. So I want to say he's understanding.
Is he a man or a woman?
He's a nurse.
Hey, we ain't gonna get into that because I'm a nice guy, but. Hey, he may be a nurse, but he makes probably twice what I do.
Nurses. There's a lot of nurses there. I just fuck around.
But no, I mean, hearing people say that they thought I backed out because I was scared. Motherfuckers, I sparred with Robert Rojas the first 3 years of my MMA amateur career. I ain't scared of nobody.
Well, I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, just the fact that people...
They did, though!
But people are gonna...
everybody's gonna do it. But
Everyone has their opinion.
Just any fighters. I mean, look at the big fucking card in the UFC. How many people did they go through?
Yeah.
That was it the Ferguson Khabib fight that was supposed... Or Khabib fight that was supposed to happen.
Yeah, people get...
And, Max Holloway, he got, pulled. Like, it's...
Yep.
To make it to a fight, it's a lot. Shit happens. I'm just glad that you're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like, seriously.
I did get a lot of feedback. Like, I got a lot of texts and phone calls from people I would have least expected it from.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I still felt bad because I was like, day before weigh-ins, I hope they find this guy a fight because if they don't find him,
they did.
Yeah, they did find him a fight.
I went to those fights.
Yeah, they got him some guy from Iowa.
Did you know that guy?
I didn't know him, but
he was real unorthodox.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
I heard he was somewhat cocky and flashy, trying to show off. Didn't work out in his benefit.
No.
I seen the video. Micah Petrosky takes his back, and the guy does a forward roll.
Yep.
I have no idea what the fuck he was thinking in that. But
maybe he just panicked.
He was a kind of eccentric. He was kind of a weird guy.
Okay.
He did 2 forward rolls when Micah took his back. And then finally Micah sunk in that rear naked choke, and that's all she fucking wrote.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was like I went to those fights.
Right.
To support you, brother, but
Sorry,
you didn't
I
fight.
couldn't
I
make
still
it.
went to the fights.
I wanted.
Either way, I was good. I enjoyed the fights. We had a great time.
Good. I'm glad.
We had a great time. There was a bunch of Petrowski fans. They all wore. I don't know where
He
he's
has
from.
a lot of fans. He's from Fremont.
And they had like shirts from like a trucking company, like a bunch of people. I don't know.
Twin J.
Yeah.
Yeah, Twin J.
Twin
J
J
fight team.
Okay.
The owner supports a lot of the fighters from Premier's gym.
Okay.
That's a great thing. I
Okay.
fully support that. There's a company out there that supports fighters like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I like a lot of the guys from Premier.
I hear you.
No, he has a big fan base. I have a huge fan base from Lincoln, and I bring Lincoln to Omaha.
It would have been huge.
It would have been a lot better. I mean, I had to turn in a lot of ticket sales that I had sold. It was not. It was a shitty time. Like a lot of people, yourself included. You asked me, "Hey, are you coming to the fights?" And I really wanted to.
No, I hear you.
But I'm one of those people that I just couldn't show my face.
No, I hear you.
If I'm supposed to, I was supposed to be the co-headliner that night.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be the co-headliner, and I'm not even fighting. I don't see how
Makes
anyone
sense.
could expect.
I get it.
I don't see how
Same
anyone could
thing.
expect me to show my face when I'm supposed to co-headline and not be there.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. And to all the fight fans, the VFC promotion, I apologize. I mean, stuff
This shit happens. You're not the first person that's gonna.
No, and I definitely won't be the
me,
last, but
last.
I mean, I try.
Yeah.
I really do try. So
So you're said that you're getting back into it. Are you planning on fighting again soon, or like?
The plan was
what's your timeline
to take that fight in March, and I would train off and on throughout the rest of the year, but I wouldn't commit to taking a fight till late 2018, early 2019. But now since that happened, like I said on the last podcast, I have to take actual personal vacation time to take a fight.
Right.
So I took 2 days. I have 4 days left of vacation. I took 2 for a bachelor party in July, and I got 2 left. So I'm trying to figure things out with VFC, see what my contract entails, if I can fight outside the promotion or not. There is a fight matchup. Me and this guy, we get along. I ain't gonna say his name just because nothing's set in stone. But we've been paired up a couple times as amateurs. The fight just never fell through for whatever reasons at those points in times. But we want to fight. He's planning on making his pro debut this summer, and then I might travel to whatever area. It's outside the VFC, but to fight him in his hometown, I'd be totally down for that. Or if I can't fight outside the promotion, we'll maybe try and line something up inside the promotion. The marathon's in September. I would love to fight in October because I feel like I would be in killer, excellent shape in October.
Yeah, exactly.
But if I have to wait till November or December, so be it. I do want to fight one time before this year is over. That's for sure.
Dude, that would be nice. Where let's just play theoreticals here. So if that happens, you could just give me a general area. Where would that fight be?
Way out west, western side of the state.
Okay. I was just like, if it's somewhat close, my
Nope.
ass ain't traveling out that far.
But if it's under the VFC banner, it definitely would be close.
Yeah,
I don't see me fighting under the VFC banner outside of Omaha because I have such a good fan base. I feel like the only time they'd have me fight outside of Omaha would be if it were for a title, which that's in nowhere, shape, or form anywhere close.
Right.
As of now, as a professional, I'm only 1-1.
Right.
Granted, the one loss is to Troy Naraki. Again, I tip my hat off to him. That guy's a stud. We talked that night. We talked that night after the fight. At weigh-ins, I said loser buys the winner first round? And he's like, yeah, definitely. I mean, we're cool. We get along great.
Dude, that's
and after the fight, when we're just bullshitting with one another, he's like, I like my tequila chill, just so you know. And I was like, yeah, you probably got it. I feel like you got the first 2 rounds. I got the 3rd round. So, yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
But I never did end up seeing him, but we were messaging back and forth, and we had talked about maybe training together. And he told me, he's like, I just want you to know you're the toughest motherfucking son of a bitch I've ever fought. And I was like, well, thank you, Troy.
That's good.
He was supposed to be a D2 wrestler in college, and unfortunately the program shut down when he was going to school or signing up for classes. He went for 2 or 3 takedowns. I stuffed all 3 of them. I actually took him down in the 3rd round.
Nice.
And coming from a person who never qualified for high school state wrestling and had a shitty high school wrestling career, that says a lot. I mean, you never know how good you can be at something until you actually try.
Right.
So,
dude, that's fucking awesome. Hopefully you get back on it, man. I can't wait. I definitely want to go to a fight, like, for sure. So we'll be there just fucking repping. What up, bitches?
Yeah, for sure, dude.
TF, motherfuckers!
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Dude, and I don't know Troy Noraki. We know some of his family. I know
Respectable family.
Yeah,
I like his family.
Yeah, I know some of them. Camus works with some of them. I know he works for Bellevue Fire, and I know a bunch of Bellevue firemen. I don't think I've ever met him, but I know and I've heard he was a good dude. So shouts out Noraki.
Yeah.
The dude you were supposed to fight in March, he put on a good fight. I was actually rooting for the other guy. We had a great night of fights that night. His crew had so many people in the audience.
Yeah.
This other kid came from Iowa. Not one. Didn't seem like he had anybody there. Took the fight on short notice. And he was acting real unorthodox. I can't remember what he was doing. Like, he was acting kind of weird. And I'm like, fuck. And
I think he was kind of do the Conor McGregor fight style.
Maybe.
I mean, that's a funky style, but only very few people can do it.
But yeah, he did not. Obviously, when the fight, he got choked out. But no, it was pretty good. But no, I wrote down a couple questions. I got a couple questions I want to get into with Tower.
Yeah.
Tower's using the bathroom. Let the record show he has still not finished his Zima. And where are we at in the podcast?
We are an hour 25.
All right. Yeah. So I think like maybe start focusing on your Zima consumption versus your marathon running, because what's more important? You know?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually finished mine. You pounded yours like within the first 10 minutes.
I finished mine in like 10 minutes.
So...
You took an hour. Tower. If it takes you an hour and 25 minutes to drink a Zima, don't tell them any of this.
No.
We'll let them listen to this on the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm bigger than Tower, but he's a fighter, and I don't want him punching me or fucking choking me. So we'll just keep that. But yeah, come on. He's got a fucking quarter of his Zima left, an hour and 25 minutes in, folks. So whoever's doing his contracts,
you might want to reevaluate it.
Yeah.
No, but you're saying there are some fights tonight, right? Some free fights tonight?
There's UFC fights tonight, free fights. I looked at the fight card a few days ago.
Yeah.
I knew we were going to be podcasting tonight. I remember looking at the fight card and thinking...
Right. I mean, we don't have to do YouTube. We should, if we can get it, we should just have the fights on in the background.
No, I was thinking that for sure.
Yeah, awesome.
We'll have to put the fire stick down here. What time? Yeah, their prelims are on now. I think the main fight card starts at 7. We'll get that hooked up. We'll watch some of the free fights. I wanted to get into some of that. Some of the questions I wanted to get in with you, Tower, is the first one is, why aren't you finished with your Zima?
God, this motherfucker.
Well, he finished in like...
That actually wasn't. He's finished, folks.
Yes, absolutely.
What time is it?
1:26, hour 26.
I'll write that down.
So almost
that wasn't one of
hour 26 and like
that wasn't one of the questions. No, your story and your explanation is so good that I have other stuff I want to talk about. I had to write it down or else I'd forget it because we have been drinking a little bit. But no, it's shitty that people would, and I think no matter what it is, people talk shit. Anybody that knows you knows you're a fucking man and you're not gonna puss out of anything. But don't. I think my what I would tell you is don't focus on any of that bullshit.
Nah,
you just do your thing. I know you probably don't, but don't focus on that shit. That's bullshit. People that don't know you, people are gonna say shit. People are gonna talk shit. But and like you said, most of those people aren't even fighters. So fuck those guys.
Today's society, I mean, everyone knows. Pretty much everyone thinks their opinion matters.
Right.
And
or they're experts.
I talk,
experts on stuff.
I mean, I talk a lot about Joe Rogan and talk. Never met him. I would love to have a conversation with the guy.
For sure.
Probably never happened, but has so many philosophies on living to be positive and happy and ignoring the negative things. Because, that guy gets so many negative things on his podcast. And I mean, people will say, well, you're this and that, but he takes it from both sides of the coin. Yeah. I mean, he throws out perfectly great explanations on both sides. He doesn't favor either one, but it's just the world we live in. Yeah,
you just got to do what you do, and you're a good fucking dude. People are going to support you. You listen to that. Don't listen to other people. Even if you were even like champions. Like, even if you were, like, who's the fucking heavyweight champ right now? Like, of the UFC?
Miocic.
Oh, Miocic.
Miocic.
From Cleveland.
Yeah, from Cleveland. People are probably
fireman.
Fireman. Yep. People are probably shit talking him. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no matter what you are, there's people that are haters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just, we all know that. Ignore that shit and keep, you just keep on fucking trucking. Drinking your Zima and fucking
Hell yeah.
look in the rearview mirror.
Hey, I look at it from this point of view. The people that talk negative about me or talk shit about me on my, whether it be my personal life or my fight career, but if it's about my fight career, hey, I was the short, fat kid everyone picked on in high school. That doesn't happen no more.
That's Marty.
Yeah. Yeah, that's me now.
That's Marty's life, Dave.
100%.
My 10-year reunion's actually next week. I'm excited about it because, again, I was that short, fat kid, and I'm excited to see the people that were studs back then.
Yeah.
Us flip-flop.
You should go pantless.
Yeah, look how much bigger my dick is now that I don't have this belly. It looks huge.
I can actually see it.
I wanted to talk about puking. You said you didn't like puking. Nobody likes puking. With the beard, does that make puking more difficult or messy or?
You know what? It's not
great
pleasant.
Fucking question,
it depends.
We've had a lot of guys with beards on. Yeah. Rob, Beeman.
Yeah. Chubbs.
Chubbs. Yeah. We've never asked the puking question, but that eating and going in and out, I guess the beard would make.
Yeah. Vito, he had a big beard when he was on.
He did.
So
shouts out.
Hey, before we get on to the subject, if you do have a beard and you do like beard products, go to Beard Care Club. They are out of Utah. Go to the coupon code. They have anything between shampoo, conditioner, beard balm, oil. They have everything. Type in Tower.
look at this motherfucker promoting.
Damn right, take advantage of this shit.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Type in the coupon code Tower. You'll get 40% off.
Oh my god, 40?
And their stuff is actually very relatively affordable. Like
especially 40% off.
A couple of my favorite products: the Norseman beer balm and oil.
Yeah.
The Chupacabra beer balm and oil. Like I said, they have multiple products, vitamins for beard growth and skincare. Check them out. You'll love their product. I'm telling you.
Dude, that's fucking awesome,
my
man.
girl Heather loves the Norseman. So, check that out. But proceeding, if it's like a night of drinking, just drinking, not food, it's not a problem.
Yeah, because you can project it out.
Legitimate fire hydrant. Like the Exorcist style. That's kind of how it is.
Right.
But if you eat it's been nasty.
Yeah.
Like where you have chunks. I have had, and I don't have a very long beard. It's thick. But
I would say
not,
it's thick, medium length.
Yeah,
believe it or not, I got 3 inches took off of it in late March.
Oh, nice! Yeah. It looks good, man. I like it. I like the way it fits, and it's just like the perfect length, I think, or perfect length. So it looks good, man.
I guess if it's something bad like vomit, it's bad. But if you're eating like something good like pussy, like then that flavor is probably in there for a few days, and you're just like, yep.
Smell it. Hey, I'm taking a whiff of last night.
So you're
sorry.
We're all just thinking about eating pussy right now.
Yeah. Eat a booty gang.
Yeah, fuck DJ Khaled.
Yeah, right.
I wanted to ask you about your tank top. So obviously this is just an audio podcast, but you have a tank top that says Mike Tyson, world heavyweight champion, 1988.
Yep, 88.
88.
So I know you're a younger guy, so I don't know how familiar you are with Tyson. I want to talk Tyson a little bit with you.
Hell yeah, let's talk about the baddest motherfucker to ever walk the face of the planet.
Yeah, man, he's fucking good.
Okay, so 88 was a year before I was actually born.
Okay.
But I remember my dad wasn't a big boxing fan, but did they have pay-per-view back then?
Yes.
Was it?
Yep.
Or I remember on the farm we had HBO, but was that I don't know if that was the same as pay-per-view or
No, they did have HBO and pay-per-view. I don't know back in 88. I think my first he fought Spinks. I think that was, and I don't know what year that was, but that was the first pay-per-view, I think. My dad ordered it, and it was like you had your the wood grain cable box. And I don't remember how you do it. I can't remember I think back then you had to call it in, but you ordered pay-per-view, but they did have pay-per-view. It was separate from HBO. But back in 88, I'm not 100% because I would have been 9. But
I was a swimmer. My dad's
that
ball
might
sack.
have been because I watched Tyson fights, on pay-per-view. So I want to say 88. They probably did for sure have it.
When did he fight Holyfield? When he bit Holyfield's ear?
That was in 97, 98.
Okay, because I remember that. I was
Okay.
like, God, was that early 90s? I want to say I remember watching it because it was something just crazy.
I want to say that was 97 or early 98.
Okay, well, I was born in 89. I remember that fight, and I remember a couple fights prior to that. I remember when he lost the belt.
Yeah.
Who was that to? It was a guy that was not supposed to win. His mother
Buster Douglas.
Yes,
Right?
his
Buster
mother
Douglas.
had just died, and his mother told him win the belt. And at the end of that one round, he was hurt.
Yeah.
Like no chance in hell he was coming back. He came back and dusted Tyson.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like,
And I've watched multiple documentaries about him. Yeah. Like you, Tower, 100%. He was the baddest man on the planet for a long time.
for sure.
He would still, I don't know how old he is, and I'm sure he's out of shape.
I
He would
bet
still
you he punches like a
horrify-
truck.
Oh, I bet you'll fucking knock the motherfucker out like that. And he's still pretty unstable. I love Mike Tyson, but he'd be a person that would for sure scare any human.
Yo, if you're listening, Iron Mike, hit us up, man. We'd love to have you on the podcast, champ. For sure.
I want to say, and I've watched a few documentaries about him. He had the deal where he was on like a stage talking about it.
Oh, he had the Vegas show.
The Vegas show.
Yeah.
And then he had just a few documentaries about it. I want to say that fight happened overseas, like Japan or something. And I want to say he was, during that time, according to him, he was out partying, banging chicks. I want to say he had chlamydia or some shit during the fight, gonorrhea or whatever, during the fight. And he was walking through people. So he got there, and he was always like an undersized heavyweight. So when he got Buster Douglas was a big man, and he fucking threw the beating on him, and
is he the youngest heavyweight champ or youngest
right.
boxing champion? I want to something.
That sounds right.
It sounds
Either the
right,
youngest
but I don't know for
heavyweight
sure.
champion or the youngest champion period in boxing. I can't remember which one it is, but.
So for me, when I was a kid, in 88, I would have been 9 years old, and we would get pay-per-view fights, and it was almost like, to compare it now would be like Ronda Rousey 3 years ago, where people would get pay-per-view fights, and she won, 3 fights under a minute, like she beat
So
it was more than
Zagato and
Well, it was like
seconds.
well, it was like 3 or 4 fights, and the total amount of time was
less than an actual round.
She beat Kat Zingano in like 14 seconds. She beat another chick. It was like that, but at a way bigger scale because Mike Tyson was it. He was Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
So we would get pay-per-view, and I remember he would knock people out in the first round. It's like, Jesus Christ. But he was a savage. I remember before the Fresh Prince, Will Smith had the TV show, like he was a rapper,
Yeah.
I think some people don't know that. But I
didn't know that.
He was a rapper.
Big Willie style?
I knew he was a rapper.
No, not like that. Like Big Willie style came after the show.
Well,
Before that, he was a rapper.
Yeah.
in the
I knew
80s.
he was a rapper. I'm going to Miami.
Yeah, that's after.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
all,
okay.
yeah, that's all after. But
All right.
Before that, he was a rapper, and he had a song, like I want to fight Mike Tyson, whatever. Like Mike Tyson was it. He was the heavyweight champion of the world, the scariest man on the planet. everybody, and we would talk about that even elementary school. Like, would you fight Mike Tyson for $1 million? You know, and like,
sign me up.
I might get brain damage, whatever, but it's $1 million. You know, like that's back in elementary school. But he was the most frightening man. This is before the rape allegations. This is before the ear biting stuff.
Yeah,
this is before he lost his
cocaine.
belt. Before the actress Robin Givens, but you know, before the downfall, his bankruptcy and all that. Before the face tattoo, he was Iron Mike Tyson, and you would watch him come out,
right?
And he was a.
But I mean, of course, like it just with anybody else, like you're that high, the crash is gonna be hard, and it is for almost everybody. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, he came. I don't even know where he's from, but you know, he didn't come from fucking anything.
Well, and it's and that's the thing. Like, if you came up in a normal environment, like, and I say normal's different from.
Right.
You know, let's say you came out like an environment of us with love, you know, being healthy or whatever. If you became the scariest, the most badass motherfucker in the world, it's gonna change you. With, all right, here's $100 million. Here's $100 million. That's gonna change you.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson.
Nobody there to say no to you.
Mike Tyson came from Brownsville. I want to say Brownsville, Brooklyn.
I was gonna say he was East Coast.
Yeah. He was Brownsville, Brooklyn.
Time out. We'll get back to it. Update, Mr. Tower is just dropped in a cherry Jolly Rancher into his second Zima. So we just
I was about to say, I was waiting for you guys to finish the conversation.
What time
when y'all
are we
going to hit your second Zimas?
We just
Pussies. Y'all making fun of me about finishing my first one. Where's your second?
He does have a second one, but I think that's the last Jolly Rancher. So
Oh yeah, what's the time?
Keep talking. I'll grab some more upstairs.
No, that's it. We only have 4.
Bullshit.
Yeah, we only.
hour 40. Yeah, because we were at a store that just had them out as candy,
Yeah.
so we just jacked it
Yeah,
from
we
there.
didn't-
So
Well, I guess you got to embrace the suck and taste it.
time in.
All right, so where are we at here? Oh, so Mike Tyson came from Brownsville, Brooklyn, the hood. You know, he stayed in a tenant, like I don't know, just a horrible environment. I want to say he didn't have his dad. I want to say his mom was a prostitute or something. And he talks about being a kid. He was like you, Tower. He said he was fat. He had glasses and shit, and he was getting bullied.
He was picked on a lot because of his lisp. Or his speech impediment, whatever.
You had to be tough there. He ended up running with the clique. He said he would go to the roof and play with pigeons, and that was his thing. And during the story, like during the documentary, he talks about this and he cries.
Yeah.
He says guys came up, fucking killed his pigeons in front of him, but so he ended up joining like a gang, and they would run into houses. He was arrested like 13 times. When he was like, I don't know, like young, like 12 years old, they would make him fight. He found out he could fight after that. When he was like 12 years old, he would just fight. Like, and it started off with just people on his block, and then they would start bringing in other kids from other neighborhoods in the Bronx and Harlem, and they would fight at 12 years old.
Jesus.
So he said that was his life. Like he would in like some abandoned warehouse on broken glass, bare knuckle fighting bigger kids from other neighborhoods. That was his life.
Fucking him up.
They didn't have food and shit. He would go into other people's houses, steal shit, get arrested. Like, that's where he grew up. Like, he didn't have any support other than a gang.
Yeah.
So he came from that. That's nothing.
So give somebody like that $100 million.
Yeah, you give somebody like that $100 million. On top of that, like what saved him was Gus D'Amato.
Yeah.
His coach. He took him out to what do they call that? Like outside of the city of New York, like upstate.
Okay.
And he took him in as part of his family. So then he started living like a double life. So like he'd be back in the hood, robbing people, and then he'd be up there, and he's like, these white folks love me. They take care of me. And then his crew was good enough that they said, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you out here robbing people still? You need to... And what happened was he was in a jail. And he saw people coming, like he was always on like lockdown for fighting and he saw people coming from like a training sessions. They were bloody or whatever, but they were happy and smiling. And he said, what do you do? Why are you guys so happy? Like, I want to do that. The first time he did it, he got in trouble. And then he said, you know what? I kind of like this. I want to get into this. Along the line, he meets a legendary boxing coach, Gus D'Amato. He takes him out under his wing, takes him up to upstate New York. And so now he's spending half of his time out there, half the time in the hood. And Gus D'Amato sees stuff in him. At 16 years old, roughly. I act like I'm a fucking Mike Tyson expert. I've watched a few documentaries. It's been a while. But yeah, so then he's training. Then he's in the Junior Olympics. And then all this other stuff. And then he becomes Iron Mike Tyson. And he is the most bad motherfucker on the planet.
I don't think it was full alleged Olympics, because if you compete in boxing Olympics,
I think
you can't be a professional. You have to be an amateur.
Okay. Yeah, I think it was the Olympics.
Full alleged Olympics.
Yeah.
He was a bronze medalist. Holyfield was gold.
And that's why Holyfield. That's when he met Holyfield, and I want to say that they were on the same team, so they didn't fight, but they ended up fighting years later.
At that point in time, they actually got along with one another.
Yeah.
But then, hey, money talks, and
Yeah.
who's the biggest, baddest motherfucker?
Yeah, but Mike Tyson was horrifying, and then when he started getting crazy,
Downfall.
like like you said, Pags, like you give anybody that much money and that much power, and then you're making bad decisions. You have horrible people around you. People are mooching off you. So he went downhill. The rape allegations, I don't know about that. The divorce stuff, that all happened, and then next thing you know, like he's still walking through people. He's just banging chicks, getting drunk, not training, still winning, and then he runs into Buster Douglas, gets knocked the fuck out, and then around that, after that, I remember he's coming out to Tupac music, which is awesome. Yeah, and then
him and Pac were great friends.
Yeah, they were. And then after that, Pac died.
Yeah,
95
at the night of his fight.
At a Tyson fight in Vegas, after a Tyson fight. But I remember that it was like a pre-fight conference, and he was talking about eating this dude's children and raping them and fucking them, and I'm just like,
that was off.
He started getting just crazier and crazier, and then, got the face tattoo. And,
he admitted taking bumps of cocaine in between rounds.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah, he went downhill, and so now I think for people growing up, they know they think of Mike Tyson as like a crazy person. He's got the face tattoo, and now he's funny. He's been in The Hangover. He's been doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's friends with Dana White, so he shows up to those kind of things, and everybody saw him fall off the hoverboard. But back in the day, as a kid watching Mike Tyson,
no other scary
horrifying.
person in the world.
Horrifying.
No one.
As a heavyweight, now I think I couldn't tell you who the heavyweight boxing champion
No,
was.
because
MMA is taking over.
There is one heavyweight. I
Is
feel
it Klitschko? Something like Klitschko is one of those Russian brothers.
I can't remember. I couldn't tell you. But there is one heavyweight that is standing out and is doing really well. But up until him, there was no conversation about any other heavyweight back that could compete with Ali, Tyson, Frazier, and none of them.
Yeah, George Foreman. But even now, like, back then, if you were the heavyweight boxing champion, you were the baddest motherfucker on the planet. For MMA, it's not even the same. Like, Stipe Miocic, he's a bad motherfucker, but nobody's scared of him like they were scared of Mike Tyson.
Right.
He was just...
They should
my
be.
opinion. They
should be
way more scared of Stipe Miocic now
Yeah.
than even Mike Tyson in his prime because of MMA versus boxing. But the mentality of people is just, it's different. Mike Tyson was the baddest motherfucker on the planet.
Yeah. Hey, Conor McGregor, if you're fucking listening to this podcast, take notes. You're fucking going down the drain. I mean, you get rich and famous, you do great in the start of your career, and then you just start going on cocaine benders and fucking yourself
I
up.
was going to say drugs.
Throwing dollies through fucking buses.
Do you think he'll be back? Do you think he'll ever fight again?
Yeah, I think he will.
Probably won't be in New York, huh?
Probably not. He's definitely getting special treatment.
Well, of course.
But
you
see
gotta
both sides
understand.
of the coin.
Listen, UFC is a business.
It is a business, and he is their top sale.
100%.
He is their top sales. So again, I see it from both sides of the coin. He should get a little bit of wiggle room, but as far as the lawsuits are involved and the law enforcement is involved in New York, that is something that he has to go through first before he actually accepts a fight. I don't think we'll see him fight till 2019.
Yeah, do you think he'll do any time for any... I mean, there's no, like, felony charges.
He lives in Ireland, so...
Right.
I don't know how a visa works if you're out of the country, but...
Talk about Connor.
Okay.
I feel like... if he didn't have a bad record in Ireland, I feel like they might treat it the same as if you were a U.S. citizen. You might get off with diversion and just have to do a significant amount of community service hours or something like that.
Do you see his ass out there on the highway picking up trash?
Fuck no. Fuck no. But I feel like he's he's gonna definitely pay some lawsuits because Michael Chiesa, he got scratched from the fight card because he took cuts.
Eye, right?
Yeah, cuts to the eye. So
that was Borg. I think Chiesa had scrapes.
Chiesa took glass to the eye. Okay. Was medically denied. Chiesa, if you all don't know, he's a lightweight Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu expert. Won the Ultimate Fighter a few seasons ago. Just been killing it. Yeah. His last loss was to shit.
I don't remember.
Lee.
Oh yeah, Kevin Lee.
That was a very controversial fight. Kevin Lee had a deep rear naked choke. Chiesa kind of went like this, stiff-armed, and the ref said, I mean, you could see both sides of the coin again. When your arms go stiff, they think you're out, but he said he was relaxing, trying to fight the choke. Again, the ref is there to protect you, so, again, both sides of the coin. Yeah. But very...
Is that the one where he was sleeping, though, right?
He wasn't sleeping. He had his eyes shut, and he was just trying to relax to fight off the choke. Yeah. I can see that because I'll do the same thing.
Okay.
But no one knows.
Is that the one where the fight was over? The fight was finished?
Is
that another one that I'm thinking of?
This was first or second round. This was a UFC fight.
Okay, I'm thinking about another one just recently where the fight was over.
Oh, you're thinking of Lee and Barbosa.
Okay, and the fight was over, right? But the dude was sleeping. He was out. That's what I'm thinking about. Not
one of these fighters.
No, I'm not saying it was Kevin Lee. Sorry, man. But there was another fight like that. So yeah, I do remember the Michael Chiesa and Kevin Lee fight, and that one being controversial. I was thinking about a different fight though.
Nah.
But both of those guys are phenomenal.
Oh, great fighters.
Yeah.
Top Lee, he's going to be a world champion. It's inevitable. Yep. He is young.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I would have started as young as these guys. I started when I was 23, 24, something like there. Yeah, it's very late.
Yeah, a lot of these people, or a lot of these kids, as soon as they're like, can stand, they're in jiu-jitsu classes. Yeah. They're like coming up through MMA, MMA.
Striking and kickboxing or whatever,
gyms.
But we were talking about Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Chiesa's in a lawsuit with him because Chiesa, he usually wins submission of the night, fight of the night. He's a bonus prize fighter. Yeah.
And I'm sure paper, son.
Mm-hmm, I'm sure his show pay and win pay, it's well over $30,000 each. Mm-hmm. Plus the Reebok sponsorship, which I'm sure is another $30,000. Plus the fight bonus, which is $50,000. So he's definitely suing Conor McGregor for a substantial amount of money. Borg, is that
Ray Borg?
Which one is that? Conor's team? No.
Nope, that's Lobov.
Okay, yeah, Lobov. He didn't get the fight just because he was affiliated in it. Yeah. Borg, he's in a lawsuit with him then.
And Ray Borg, that one's serious because his actual eye, like his retina, got fucked up. And
fuck.
That's
that's
shit.
Bad.
That's real shit. Yeah.
So Conor, he's gonna face some lawsuits. He might or might not face a little jail time, but if he does face jail time, it's gonna be county. It's not gonna be anything serious. Right. It'll be a short amount of time, like max, I bet 30 days or maybe 50 days. He ain't gonna serve.
That makes sense.
He's getting special treatment. But again, when he fights, everyone buys.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see the special treatment that he's getting, but I mean, if it would have been some lower name that did this, they'd been done.
Absolutely.
They would have been kicked out in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
But hey, Conor's making you millions and millions of dollars. You don't bite from the hand that feeds you. Yeah. So, I don't think he'll fight till 2019. I mean, we're what? Almost January, February, March, April, May. We're almost halfway through the year. Yeah. So, I think he's wanting to get through these lawsuits. He's gonna get through the possible jail time he might serve, and then probably come back. So I'd say at the earliest, early 2019, maybe mid 2019, he'll be back.
When was his last fight in the UFC? It was
Diaz. His last fight was against Mayweather.
Well, no, his
Boxing.
last UFC fight.
Last
Diaz,
UFC
yeah.
fight was Diaz 170. Was it?
Yeah.
How long?
Yeah,
I mean, that was a
170, I
year or two ago, right?
Oh, it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
At least 2
He
years.
fought Diaz McGregor won the first fight. Diaz won by submission. Then I want to say he fought Diaz again at 170.
Yeah.
He won.
Yeah.
Then he fought Eddie Alvarez for the 155-pound belt, won that. Then he fought Mayweather, and he hasn't done anything since.
See, I thought he got.
Or
the
it
Eddie
may have
Alvarez,
been-
I thought he got the Eddie Alvarez belt before he went up in weight.
You might be right.
I'm not 100%, but
You might be right, but I feel like they wouldn't put the belt on hold just for him to go up a weight class. I feel like he lost to Diaz. Then
I know.
he said, hey, I don't want... Because in a statement, he said, my next fight, I don't want anyone other than Diaz. And I don't want anything to be different. I want it to be at 170. I am not a McGregor fan. I am a diehard Diaz fan. I'm wearing a
Same.
flat bill. Hashtag 209.
Yeah, same.
I'm wearing a flat bill. But, I mean...
I love the Diaz brothers.
Yeah, Nick and Nate, love them both. They are true G's to the sport.
Absolutely. And when all this shit went down, they said he was pissed because they were vacating his belt, but they said he hadn't fought for that belt in 2 years.
Yeah.
So it,
Yeah, sounds right.
So and that's what you know, watching like Fox Sports 1 said, which it makes sense. Like, yeah, you can't just get a belt, fight in other weight classes, take a year off, fight in boxing, and then expect them to just hold that. There's people that want to fight, that want the belt.
The 155-pound weight class is so
It's stacked.
fucking stacked. I mean, I think the VFC roster at 155 is stacked. UFC times 100.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so you can't get mad that they're giving away the belt. Like, we don't have to give it away. Come back and fight. But no, if you're not planning on doing that,
Again, it's that special treatment that they're giving him.
Yeah.
I get
It's
it.
a long fucking
But-
time. You know
yeah,
what I
right.
mean?
Yeah, whenever the first UFC card was in New York, that's when Conor fought Alvarez for the belt and won. So I want to say
that
that's
was 200, wasn't it?
I believe
no, it
so.
wasn't because the
Was
UFC
it 199 then?
UFC 200. I think
That
the
was
main
John
event.
Jones. That was going to be.
It
John
was
Jones,
supposed
I
to
think.
be Bones Jones and Cormier, but Bones Jones didn't pass his piss test or blood test, whatever. He failed for cocaine, whatever. And the main event ended up being Misha Tate, Amanda Nunes, or it was Brock Lesnar
That was
and
the 200 was Brock
Brock
Mark
Lesnar.
Hunt.
Yes, I think yes.
And then
That card was set up to be so
that
fucking
was
good.
going to
But
be the best ever. Yeah.
yeah, the
Best
Cormier
fight
Bones Jones fight didn't fall through. It was Cormier versus Anderson Silva, and then another big fight got scratched. I can't remember what it was, but
Yeah, I remember 200 was supposed to be the biggest fight card of all time, and it looked like it was going to be the biggest fight card of all time, and then injuries,
Shit
and
happened.
piss tests, and shit like that, and then it ended up being Brock Lesnar and Mark Hunt, and then a couple like the co-main event. I don't remember, but
Misha Tate and Amanda Nunes when Misha Tate lost to Amanda.
yeah.
I love Misha Tate, but she got murked.
Yep, she got murked. Yeah, Amanda Nunes is no joke. I want to ask you about so last week's fight. I didn't watch it.
Pennington and Amanda Nunes.
I was hanging out with the fam, and then we got home and decided not to watch it just because the fight card didn't look spectacular, and the boys weren't too interested in watching it. Later on, I watched the video of Raquel Pennington in the corner talking to her corner between the 4th and 5th round, and she was saying. So what happened was, real brief. I didn't watch the fight. So from reading it, the first 4 rounds, she lost.
Yeah.
Going into the 5th
Like
round.
pretty bad.
Pretty bad.
From what I heard
Yeah.
and stuff like that
Same
as
here.
well.
Going into the 5th round, it looked like her nose was broken. She told her corner, like, I'm done. I want to be done. I don't want to fight. And from what I saw and what I've read, they didn't really give any technical advice. They just said, hey, just get back out there and fucking throw bombs and just win. And then soon after that, 5th round started, and I saw her nod to the ref, like, yeah, I'm ready. And sooner she gets TKO shortly into the 5th round. There's a lot of controversy. People saying, like, what the fuck? Like, why would her corner do that? You know,
Yeah.
Other people are saying, well, no, this is for a belt. You're a fucking fighter. Like that's what you're supposed to do. They're supposed to encourage your fighter. As a fan, I have probably one way of thinking. As an actual fighter and a fan, I just want to know what your thoughts are on that.
Well, since that fight, I had mixed feelings and mixed emotions about it, but it only took me a couple podcasts to listen to. Joe Rogan had Big John McCarthy on his podcast. They talked about it.
Was he reffing that fight?
No, John McCarthy is retired from reffing. He is a commentator for Bellator now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. I think I've seen
I
that.
listened to that podcast, and I listened to one of Chael Sonnen's podcasts. They talked about it.
Real quick. Love Chael Sonnen. Love
The
him.
American Gangsta.
He's so fucking great.
Hands down,
Always.
my all-time favorite fighter. He didn't win a world title, but he's my all-time world favorite fighter. Love Chael Sonnen.
Love him. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good, man. If it's about Chael Sonnen, I don't care. Stop the conversation. But McCarthy's outlook on it was, your corners are there to protect you and coach you through fights. When the fighter says she's done, that should be it. And then he had
That's what
some
Big
John McCarthy
Okay.
said. But then he also said some other things that influenced for why the fight should go on. Chael Sonnen, same reason. Your coaches, your cornermen know you more than anyone else that is in the building. Knows you more than the ref, knows you more than the promoter, knows you more than the fans. They know what you can take and what you cannot take. Joe Rogan and Tim Kennedy.
Oh, shit. Another one. Shouts out Tim Kennedy.
Oh, you a bad
American
motherfucker,
OG.
dude. But they talk about it as well.
Okay.
And then I finally came to the conclusion. It brought me back to a fight, my very last amateur fight, when I went up a weight class at 170. The guy who came in 6 pounds overweight and was huge.
Right.
Like, you look at me, you look at him, it's night and day. Like, what the fuck did I just get myself into? I threw out my shoulder in the first round, torn ligaments around the rotator cuff, and like when he would take me down, he would just flatten me out and beat the fuck out of my head. I actually woke for about a month. Every morning I'd wake up, I dealt with vertigo. I'd get out of bed and everything was just off balance. But going back to my point, your coaches and corners know what you can take and what you cannot take. And I felt like they were saying, hey, during the round, her coaches were just saying, go out one more round. You can do this.
Yeah.
Don't give up. She's saying, I'm done. The coach is trying to egg her on, push her.
Yeah,
encourage her, because you're
'Cause that's
never
part of
out
their-
of a
that is
fight.
part of their job.
You are never out of a fight. I feel like one of my another favorite fighter, Mirsad Bektik,
Oh my God, yes. Yeah.
top featherweight in the world,
Jesus Christ.
beating
I
the
love that.
holy hell out of this dude for two.
What's his name? The fucking brawler. I know exactly what fight you're
Beat the
talking
fuck
about.
out of him, and like everyone in that fight was like, throw in the towel.
Yeah.
This is done.
Yeah.
The guy fucking knocks out Mirsad.
Yep.
Holy fucking shit! You are never
he's
out of a
local.
fight.
He's a local. He's a
Mirsad,
Omaha.
yeah.
He's an Omaha
He
guy.
graduated. No, Lincoln.
Oh, Lincoln. Okay.
He graduated Lincoln Northeast or Lincoln East, something like that. Lincoln East, I want to say.
He's Bosnian or something.
Yes,
right?
he is Bosnian. The owner of my company is actually friends with one of his family members.
Okay.
I actually met Mirsad last November or late October. Great guy.
Yeah,
Love
I've heard
Mirsad.
that.
He's fighting Ricardo Lamas here pretty soon. That's going to be
That's a fucking great fight.
right. That
Dude, and
as soon as I posted it on my Instagram, I was like, "This is a featherweight battle we all want to see." He liked it. I was like, "Yes."
Dude, I cannot remember who he fought, but he fought a fucking scrapper, and I knew that was going to be a good fight. And yeah, I remember from the beginning, he's destroying him. Mersad's destroying this guy.
Yeah.
And then it ended up getting head kicked or something late in the third.
I can't remember, but he was murking the guy, then he just got caught.
Yep.
Mirsad, though, I feel like he's going to be a future world champ.
Yeah.
The guy's a fucking stud.
Yeah.
One of these days, I'd love to train with him. It'd probably be a bad idea, but I still want to train with him.
Yeah.
But going back to the point, your coaches, your cornermen know you better than anyone else. Like, for example, that last fight, I was seeing double. In between a round, Danny's like, "How you doing?" I'm like, "I'm seeing 2 of them." Or no, I'm seeing 3 of them. Hit the one in the middle. What? Coach, my fucking arm, I threw it out. I don't fucking care. Hit him with it. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
You got adrenaline. You'll be fine. You've taken more ass lickings in the fucking gym. You'll be fine. And not disagreeing with him, I've taken way worse ass lickings. So, I mean, God, that sounds weird. Ass lickings.
I was just going to say hashtag eat a booty gang.
Boot game. But, I mean, there's also that part, if she would have quit that fight, she's going to deal with regret.
Yep.
She's always going to deal with the what if.
Right.
And, like, again, back in high school, I did not commit myself to any sports, and I always kind of have that back in my head. If I would have had the work mentality I do now back in wrestling, what if? I could have actually been a state medalist. Mm-hmm. That would have been cool. It would have been something good to look back on. But, I mean, high school is high school. Whoop-de-fucking-do. But, I mean, just for an example, you're always going to deal with the what ifs. I mean, she supported and defended her coaches later on in an interview.
Okay.
So I agree with the decision.
Okay.
The only way I would have disagreed with the decision is if she was unable to stand or if she was incoherent. She was coherent. She was talking to her coaches. So I support the decision.
Okay.
I can see the points where people would disagree, but it's the fucking sport. I mean,
right.
MMA, it's not fucking ballet dancing. This isn't fucking patty cake. It's a violent sport. If you don't like what's going on, don't fucking watch it. Yeah. That's all I have to say on that. I mean, I agree with what they did.
Okay.
What do you think, Spicy?
No, I think I agree with Tower. Like the coaches, they know you better than anything, and that is part of their job is to be like,
what the hell is that?
That's my phone. Just ignore it.
Oh, okay. And that's part of their job is to coach. Part of their job is to keep your head in the game, to keep focus, and know that that fighter might be in pain. They might be hurt, but the hurt of regret, I think, is gonna
that's gonna haunt you.
Last longer than a broken nose or
it really
whatever,
does.
So. I don't know. I think it's controversial. I still see both sides of it, and I feel on both sides of it. But at the same time, she didn't have to.
Right.
When the ref was like, "Are you ready? Are you ready?" She could have said, "You know what? Fuck this. Like, I can't see my nose," because I've had broken noses before.
Yeah.
She could have stopped it too. And like Tower says, she had her wits about her. She was answering questions. She wasn't wobbly. It didn't look like she was like even if like. She didn't say, "I don't want to fight," but if like she would have been looking like she was so out of it, she didn't know where she was at, like she severely concussed or something like that, and they just like, "Hey, no, go out there," like, no, she's right there, like pointing her in there, that kind of thing. That wasn't going on, but I don't know. I think that if she says, I support my coaches, that was the right decision. Then you go.
Yeah, from that point on, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, right.
Your opinion is invalid. It's not that person going in sacrificing the blood, sweat, and tears in their body and their personal well-being.
Yeah.
If they're okay with it, the subject should be dropped.
Right. Well, I mean, what if she would have won that fight?
Oh yeah. Again, the what ifs.
Fucking head kicked the bitch and knocked her out.
Yeah. New world champion.
Yeah. If every time you're like, "Hey, look, I don't think I could do this," and your coach is like, "You're right. Let's just go home." That's not the right coach either. So, Pags, what do you think?
I mean, I see it both ways. I think there's a point to where, I guess it just kind of depends on what the relationship that you have with your coach. Because if there's a point to where the fighter's like, "I don't want to do it," I feel at that point their head's already out of the game, and you don't want them to get hurt anymore. Right. And everybody, regardless if it's like one punch or it's this 2,000th punch, you have a time limit, especially on head trauma. So, so if she's already out of it and she can't be in there and is not. Even just being out of it, I think for half a second, that could be, you can get some severe damage. So
for sure.
It is hard, but I also do think it's up to the coach to push you to your limits 100%.
Yeah.
And I feel like, and I've heard a couple other people talk and looking at it, and maybe if they were given like more advice than just like, hey, no, you need to stay in this, you need to do this and this. I didn't really see the fight. This is again just what other people are saying. So again, if she says it was the right call, then I'm going to go with her, you know, and go with the coaches. Yeah. But I think, you know, as a fighter, I'm not a fighter, obviously.
But I like that you brought that up.
But
like they could have said, hey, you know what? She's coming in. She's throwing that right hand. Watch that right hand.
Right.
Watch that leg kick.
Okay.
Watch for the takedown.
Yeah.
You look, you know, she's open here. You know, she's open here. Throw that right hook. But they were just bang.
Right. Yeah. So like to me that was, you know, like a little weird because I did see it. I did look at it, but again, I don't know very little about fighting. So, but so that's just kind of where I stand at it. Again, I think it comes to the end. If she says it was the right decision, then you know that's on her. But I just feel like that's one of the few things. There's very few little things that you have to have your head in 100%, where it's life or death, war. And I mean, she is physically in a war right there for her life. And so, and if you're not in it, you know, I mean, head trauma is fucking huge. Well, you know, so
absolutely. And I want to get into that. We can get into that a little bit later. CTE, because we talked about that earlier with Aaron Hernandez. Yeah. But look at Roberto Duran. Yeah. You know, the whole no mas thing. Yeah. Like you never let that down. Right. So like quitting a fight for belt. If she would have just been like, hey, you know what, I'm out. Like she wasn't ready.
Yeah, I guess it's
that'll
also
haunt you for life.
Yeah, it's also different that it'd be if she wasn't getting her ass whipped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And she was down.
Yeah, from what I hear, she was getting
4 rounds to none.
Yeah. So it's gonna.
She
take
needed
a
to finish to win.
It's gonna take a tap. It's gonna take something. And so and maybe she definitely, like you said. I mean, anything could change in one punch.
Exactly.
1 fucking second. So I get it, and I do think it's her coach's job to push her to the limits. But if your fighter's out of it, you got to be there for their safety as well. Yeah. So
I did like how you said that when a fighter says they're done. Once their mental aspect is negative, the fight is pretty much over. Chael Sonnen brought that up, and that is true. But I don't know. I've never been in a fight where I said I can't win this, I can't do it. Yeah. I've been down in fights and I've come back and won. I've been down in fights and I didn't come back and win. Like I was saying that last fight. Yeah. Going into that third round, I just remember, Danny, I'm seeing 3 of them. Well, hit the one in the middle.
Right.
My arm's shot. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
just hit.
And I come from I've never done an individual sport like I've done just like fucking around, like playing ping pong and gym class or something like that. But as far as I'm always team sports and it's there. You're supposed to pick each other up and push each other to the limits. Like, you can do this. We can get this done. We need you and stuff like that. So I 100% get that, and I don't think it was bad for the coaches to say that at all. Yeah. And again, they do know you better than anybody. Right. So if they think that she could still go, you could still go. It's just good, to see it both sides. So in the end, again, exactly what you said. If she says it was the right call, then that's the right call. Conversation should end right there. So
and great relationship with your coaches. Like me and Danny Molina. Fucking piece of shit. He's out in Colorado. Hope you hear this very soon.
Yeah.
But me and Danny have a great relationship. Yeah. If there ever comes a day, knock on wood, hope it never happens. Yeah. But if there ever comes a day in a fight in between a round and Danny says, I'm calling it, I'm not going to argue it.
Right.
Danny pushes. He knows my limits. It's greater than a large percentage of the people. I get my ass kicked a lot. Yeah. And even with amateurs, like I block a lot of punches with my face. I don't know why that's part of my offense, but it is.
Yeah.
But if Danny ever says I'm calling it, no, I'm not letting you do this no more, I'm gonna respect his decision because he knows me more than anyone. He knows when I'm done, I'm done. And that's very hard to reach.
Right.
Yeah, no, I get that for sure. Hey, so we were talking about, like people we love, like Chael Sonnen, Tim Kennedy.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up a guy that also fought that night, and that's Lyoto Machida, the Dragon.
Oh, him and Vitor Belfort. I wrote that down too.
What are your thoughts on Machida?
I'm not a big fan I respect him. I mean, he's a former world champion.
Yeah.
I like him, but I don't like him.
Okay.
I mean, it's not someone I follow. My best friend Justin Weaver, his wife Megan, loves Lyoto Machida.
Shouts out, Megan.
Yeah. I'm a diehard Luke Rockhold fan.
I love Rockhold.
I like Rockhold. When he fought Lyoto Machida, it was very tense in that room. We were watching the fights together because she likes Machida and I like Rockhold, and of course Rockhold murked Machida.
Yeah.
Murked him.
Yeah.
Machida, I feel like he probably has no more than 5 or 6 fights left.
Dude, I would. If he,
I don't know.
For me, if he retired,
It's hit and miss.
yeah.
Sometimes he performs well. Other times when he's fighting a high-level guy,
Yeah.
I just feel like with the USADA rules, he can't compete physically. He can compete mentally, but physically with the new USADA rules.
No. What are the
Not accusing him of ever taking PTSDs or... Is that the word? Sports...
performance enhancing drugs?
yeah.
PEDs.
Yeah, PEDs. Thank you.
So, what exactly are those rules? Because I'm not familiar with them, and I'm
With
sure people.
USADA?
Yeah, USADA. That's the new drug
Oh, so strict.
enforcement.
Yeah,
Okay.
very strict.
Okay.
Like, Anthony Smith from Nebraska City fights...
Lionheart.
Lionheart. Shout out, Anthony Lionheart Smith. Shout out, brother. Bad motherfucker. Like,
Yep.
I've never rolled or sparred with someone. Granted, he is... when he was fighting 185, now he's fighting light heavyweight. He's fighting Rashad Evans.
Yep.
When he was fighting 185, he was the second tallest 185 pounder in the UFC.
Okay.
And I'm really, really short. But I've never felt so mind fucked before in my life when I spar with him or when I roll with him.
All right.
Like, I remember one time, I'm not going to go into details, it was a low part in his career about a year and a half ago. We're rolling. He's like, hey, I want you to know something. I'm like, what? We're rolling. What the hell? He's like, I just want you to know something about what that's been going around. I'm like, okay, what's up? He's like, it's not true. I just want you to know. I was like, it wouldn't matter to me if it was. I don't think no less of you if it was true.
Yeah, I can feel your boner right now, man. Don't worry
Get
about
that out of my back!
What was he talking about?
I don't really want to go into it.
it. We go into it after.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about it after the podcast. It's not my place to say it on live.
That's
but-
just weird that he's thinking about that at that point.
Well, me and him have had a weird relationship. Like, at points in times, he would just drill into me and make me feel like a piece of crap. But at that point in time, he was with a certain group of people, and I didn't really get along with that certain group of people. I think you should kind of know where I'm going with this. I ain't going to say
Were
it
they
out loud.
black?
Oh. Anthony's half black.
I know, that's why I said it.
I just don't want to get into great details. Let's just say that certain group of people, we were battling back and forth, and we had a mutual decision to keep one another's names out of each other's mouths, and we left it at that. But yeah, we've had a strange relationship. Before, like, me and him, we'd get along, and then there'd be times where I was just like, why are you treating me like a piece of shit? What did I do to you?
Right.
And then, since then, me and him have had nothing but great conversation.
That's good.
He's helped me a lot in the training room. I respect and been a huge fan of his since he was fighting in Strikeforce. But back to the point, the performance-enhancing drugs, that guy I don't even think takes a multivitamin.
Okay.
Because there's a link or website you can look up the USADA's restrictions. If you go into a GNC store, it gives you probably a book as thick as Harry Potter of restrictions you cannot take.
Oh shit.
Like proteins, creatines, fat burners. Like, you can't even have caffeine, I believe.
You can only have so much caffeine.
Yeah, you can't.
Because
You can't have Tylenol.
Yeah, I've heard people where they'll say they they'll take caffeine pills because you don't know exactly how much it's in like a cup of coffee. So like they don't want to accidentally have too much. Like it's pretty strict. Ever since the Golden Snitch got over to the UFC, like he's Jeff Novinsky, he's the guy who caught Lance Armstrong. The UFC brought him in and Brendan Schaub gave him the nickname of the Golden Snitch. So he's which I think is great. I think it's great for the sport and stuff. But ever since he came, I mean they have fucking cut.
Like they want the fights to be evenly matched, no advantage over the other fighter with enhancing supplements. They want it to be as equal as possible, and they want it nothing but skill and endurance. They want the better fighter to win, not by some slight advantage the other fighter has.
Now, do you know? Have they recently allowed like so much like weed, like THC in people's system?
Yeah, they do allow that.
They've changed that, so they've allowed.
It used to be if you had any amount, you were fucked. But now you can. It's a certain amount you can of THC you can have in your system. I don't know what it is.
I think what it boils down to, as long as you're not smoking, it's like the day before, day of, or day after. Then you're like anything other than that, then you're good. Which is great for the Diaz brothers.
Oh yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
They get super baked and do fucking triathlons.
Yeah.
I mean,
a lot of people do that stuff and like work out. So I mean, it's great for it. So, but I knew they had just changed it, as somewhat as of like within the past year.
I don't see it being a sports enhancing drug. It's not.
Robin Williams has a great fucking bit about that. I think it's off of his Robin Williams Live at Broadway, his stand-up, where he's just like, the only time that it could be considered a sports-enhancing drug is if you're like doing like the big long ski jump and there's a big fucking chocolate bar at the end of it. It's fucking great. So
Rest in peace, Robin.
If anybody has never seen that, Robin Williams Live at Broadway,
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Dude, I have the DVD. That's how, I mean, it's old school, but it is
his old school shit's good though.
Stand up, man.
Still stands up.
Phenomenal.
So much energy.
Stand-up.
Robin Williams' energy is just off the charts. He's sweating.
His bit in that about golf may be one of my all-time favorite bits ever. Like, it's fucking fantastic. So it's called, again, Robin Williams Live on Broadway. It's phenomenal. So check it out if anybody's like stand up. And it's great because at that time I'm young enough to where I really only knew Robin Williams from the movies. So when I first watched that, I mean, like Mrs. Doubtfire, those types of movies.
Hello!
So to hear him like cuss was super weird at first, you know. But check it out. If you like comedy, it's a fucking phenomenal stand-up. So
I know I've seen it. It's been a long time, so I'll check it out again. Oh, anyway, I want to get back to for me, I don't like a lot of Brazilian fighters. The one I really like is Machida. And I know his style is technical, it can be boring at times, but he's such a classic guy. Victory or defeat, just some of his wins. And the same night we're talking about the
Vitor Belfort.
Yeah, Vitor Belfort fight, that front kick knocked him out.
That's his second one. I think that's only been done so many times in the UFC. He was the second one to do it, and that was against Randy Couture.
Yeah,
I remember watching that fight.
I watched that too, and
that was a long time ago.
Yeah,
when he did that to Randy Couture, that was the only second time that knockout had ever happened.
Yeah,
but now he holds two of so many.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, Vitor Belfort, I've never been a fan, but
no, me either.
He has been a fucking beast. He's been in the UFC since 19 years old.
Jesus.
That guy has
Vitor Belfort, the phenom, he's legit as fuck.
He may have been juiced to the gills, but so was everyone else back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody. There was in certain contracts that would state, we will not test you for steroids. So, I mean, Vitor, that guy dealt with so much from age of 19 to where he was to where he started downfalling. Okay. I mean, his sister was kidnapped, burnt alive in those tires.
Jesus.
You know,
that's like the Mexican gang shit. That's what they do, those fucks.
You know,
allegedly. I mean, you're good people.
I don't know this guy.
All right, calm down.
Tyler Robinson was not present.
Spicy Brown is wearing a Mexico hat.
Hey,
All
he
the
is.
love.
But no, he dealt with that. He lost his sister. I mean, he dealt with self-confidence.
Yeah.
Like, who was it?
Anybody does.
He had multiple sports. People that would
Psychologists? Maybe?
yeah. He would have multiple of the people like that talk to him before a fight because he was. There was an interview where he was when he fought Wanderlei Silva, he was scared out of his mind. Can you imagine Vitor Belfort being scared out of his mind? No. Like Vitor, how I would compare him, he is almost the Mike Tyson of MMA. He was so fucking scary, so huge, going forward, throwing bombs, knocking fuckers out left and right. I'll give him the respect that he deserves. He's, the Phenom. He came from, was he on UFC 1? I want to say he was.
I don't know.
He was on one of the very first, if not the very first UFC fight card. He was in the UFC at age 19, and once the USADA rules started, we all knew it was going to happen. His body was going to stop producing testosterone, and he's going to look like the way he is now. But the way Lyoto Machida knocked him out, he knew it from the get-go. Right after the kick landed, he fell back stiff as a board. Lyoto bowed, then he knelt down and bowed.
And that's why I love Machida.
Class act. I respect that.
I love his style. I know it's technical at times, but I love him. Like the same thing. So Randy Couture, Hall of Famer, UFC fighter. His last fight, I don't know why even 8 years ago, whenever the fight was, I don't know why you would be like, my last fight's going to be to the Dragon, Machida. But he did it, and the same thing happened. Front kick, fucking Karate Kid style, knocked the fuck out. I think his tooth fell out or some shit, if I remember right. But yeah, Lyoto Machida, our last podcast in Kansas City,
Casey Mo.
It was free fights, and Machida fought the dude from Alabama. We recorded the fights, podcasted, ended up watching. My man Pags is doing his Dr. Dre shit, and we're watching the fights. It's another fucking 3, 4 a.m. in the morning. We get to the very last fight, and are you familiar with the fighter? He's a young guy, played football at Alabama. I can't remember his name. He's an up-and-comer.
Yeah, I did, yes.
Fighting Machida.
He's a stud.
And I remember being like, this is a nightmare matchup for Machida. Well, it goes like 5 rounds because it's the main event.
Yep.
Somewhere along the line, the recording stopped.
Yeah, because like so much happened. And the thing is I put the recording back for like a half an hour, and so it recorded the extra half hour, and the fights were still going.
Yeah,
so we literally missed like the last round.
Yeah. It's like 4 in the morning. We're exhausted. We're like, all right, let's just Google it and see who won, and then we're gonna go to sleep.
Yeah, it was fucking insane.
Yeah, I do know the Alabama football
he's a
player.
savage.
Yeah,
he's
a
gonna keep getting better. But like Lyoto Machida's been good for so long. Years ago, I was like, just
Former
fucking
world
hang
champ.
it up. You're fucking old. Hang it up. But he keeps winning. His fight with Chris Weidman, where I don't know if you guys remember that. Chris Weidman was the fucking champ. And at his prime, he beat Silva twice.
Yeah.
He beat Vitor Belfort. Controversial again because after the USADA rules, he fought Lyoto Machida. In the first 3 rounds, Weidman's destroying him. The 4th and 5th round, Machida's fucking banging.
Savage.
It's like he waits for those rounds.
Yeah, like he was in the 4th and 5th round, and he's throwing like he doesn't give a fuck in the world. Like he's an older man, you know what I mean? But he's been around a while. He's banging. He almost knocks Chris Weidman out. 4th and 5th round go to Lyoto Machida, and I'm just like, oh my, like it was incredible to me. Like, I'm like, this guy's out of his prime. He's done. What are you doing? And
he's still doing it.
He's
still killing it, man.
Again, like, I don't know why I don't love the Brazilian fighters. I think just because America,
motherfuckers. That's why.
With Machida, I'm like, I just have respect for him for his career, for what he's done, and he's still in it, and he's still fucking banging. And his tech, I'm not a technical, like I like the Matt Browns, and I like the Cowboys. Cowboy can get technical too, but I like guys that bang. Yeah. And Machida's like waiting for openings.
Yeah.
He'll come in, bang, and then before anything happens, he
Sup,
disappears.
bitch?
Yeah. And,
He's in and out.
Yeah, he's in and out, and I don't necessarily like
He
that
hits his
style.
angles awesome.
Yeah, his angles are incredible, and he'll size you up. I don't necessarily like those fighters, but something about Machida
Right.
and everything about him, I love Machida. You know what I mean? He's still doing it. Like with the fucking and again, I didn't even watch the fights, but I watched. I read about him that morning before work. I always have like 10 minutes before. I shower, get ready. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, and I check Twitter and whatever, and then let's see who won the fights. I read the fights, and then oh shit, he won by a front kick. What? So I watch the highlight. And
Not again.
fucking karate kid style, just bang, hit Vitor Belfort, the Phenom, in the chin, motherfucker, out.
Good night. That
Sleeping,
shit's
so-
crazy, man.
Yeah. Fucking
Insane.
knocked him the fuck out.
Yeah, so I want to get into a little bit about CTE. And I don't know if it's controversial for you because you probably have CTE.
Yeah,
Well,
I definitely do.
I want to get into two things real quick, unless you got something else.
No.
I want to get
good.
into jiu-jitsu a little bit, and I want to get into CTE. CTE, so, what is it? Central. I'm not going to try to pronounce it. I can't remember.
Head injuries. Let's put it
It's
at
head
that.
injuries. Head injuries.
Permanent brain damage.
I'm familiar with CTE. I watched the NFL documentary. I watched the Will Smith movie. I almost said Will Ferrell. So Will Smith movie.
Would have been a way different movie.
Yeah, it would have been way different. I just watched the deal I was telling you about at lunch at John's Grecian Delight, where I watched the Aaron Hernandez documentary. He murdered 3 people. Some of them are allegedly still. One of them he's guilty of. And he shot his friend in the face for not paying half of the strip club bill that was $15,000, even though he just won a $40 million contract for the Patriots, and his friend.
What a selfish asshole.
Yeah,
You
that
selfish
was his
motherfucker.
friend. That was like his good friend. He shot him in the face, and his friend never snitched on him. He's just like, even later, he's like, hey man, I don't know why you did that, but I'm not going to snitch on you. But he shot his friend in the face because he didn't pay half of the $15,000 strip club bill after. But
I mean,
he
you
murdered.
spent
Again,
$15,000
Conor
on
McGregor, I hope
strip-
you're listening. Drugs change a person.
But no, he if you're not familiar with Aaron Hernandez, he played football at the University of Florida. He was a tight end?
Yeah.
Tight end?
Yeah.
Went on to play for the New England Patriots, won a Super Bowl, killed it. He was a savage. He was a savage his whole life.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. Yeah, he was a savage in real life.
Yeah.
So, played for the Patriots, Super Bowl, $40 million contract on a second contract. He murdered his girlfriend's sister's boyfriend or something like that, got convicted, and then later on they were like, oh, this is the same guy that murdered 2 people. They spilled it. Some dude spilled a drink at him in a club in Miami. He found them after the club, shot them, killed them, and then shot his best friend, and who knows what else he did, but
Yeah, that's right. The one murder that he was charged with, it led up to the 2 other murders.
yes.
Yeah.
Then later on they were like, oh, well,
This
they
is
looked
a
at video.
connection.
Some dude spilled a drink on Aaron Hernandez. He flipped out. His friends got him out of the club. Later on that night, a car pulled up alongside of them, shot him, murdered them both. But anyway, Aaron Hernandez, fucking, I don't give a shit. Whatever, you have CTE, you have problems. He smoked angel dust. On the documentary I watched, Urban Meyer was his coach down in Florida. He played with Tim Tebow, and he's like, he talked to Belichick, and he's like, hey, he's asking, what about this Aaron Hernandez? He's like, hey, he's on the field, he's fantastic.
Right.
He'll do whatever you want. He's great. Off the field, watch him. He's a problem. Keep good people around him. He's got demons. Obviously he had way more demons than people knew about. And who knows what else he did. What's significant is not, they're saying, he smoked angel dust, and then he had, what did you say earlier? You were saying, you said he had the most severe case of CTE that anybody have seen for somebody that age.
For his
And the
age,
only way they can test those, I'm sorry to
you're dead.
interrupt. The only way they can test that is if you're dead. Yeah.
Yeah,
Correct.
Yeah, and so I think in his suicide letter he said, I don't remember if he actually said test me or not, but when he killed himself he did, and he was what, 20, mid-20s, right?
Something like that. Yeah, for the listeners, if you're not familiar with Aaron Hernandez, he got sentenced to prison.
Yeah, he was found guilty.
Killed himself in prison.
Yeah, and then they did it, and his brain was like
Bad.
I mean, they said it was like if you look, you could just Google just Aaron Hernandez brain image, and they do like a normal brain compared to like his brain, and it's just fucking insane. But yeah, I mean, it's the worst case of CTE of anybody his age that is known as of this point.
Also in the documentary, he lost his dad when he was 16. That was his best friend. That was everything. Lost that. Did a lot of angel dust and marijuana. Everybody knows
don't
marijuana.
you put marijuana
Everybody
in the
knows
equation.
marijuana is the devil's
Cabbage.
gateway. It's a gateway drug. For one, it's a gateway drug. And then it's worse than crack cocaine.
Yep.
So on top of that, CTE. On top of
You
that,
sarcastic motherfucker.
on top of that,
I'm
CTE.
like, don't you fucking dare put that in the equation.
On top of that, CTE was riddling his brain, so I don't see that as an excuse. But no, I definitely open that up for conversation. But no, CTE is a real fucking thing. It's a real issue for anybody in any kind of contact sport. You being in a contact sport, is that something you think about?
Yeah. Thought maybe we
Long term.
I thought we maybe brought it up in the last podcast. I was actually medically.
You don't remember if we brought it up or not? Jot that down.
Yep.
Do you not remember?
Symptoms of CTE,
No,
I was.
we drink a lot.
which is probably worse than.
Yeah. I was. It was halfway through my amateur career. I mean, I had a lot of concussions before MMA. I probably have more concussions outside of MMA than I do
That's right.
with
Yeah, I
MMA.
remember you saying that.
I was medically denied, for people that didn't listen to the last episode that I was on. I was medically denied. I got kneed in the head. It was just a half-ass knee. It wasn't a full-edged knee. The guy even had a knee pad on, and I was just out of it. I was puking. Right when I started puking when I got home, that's when I knew it was definitely something bad. I went to go get checked out, and I took a day off. The next day, I go to the doctor, and he's like, that's swelling. That's bruising. I was like, so what? Do I take a few months off? And he's like, no, you should probably never fight again. And I was like, that's kind of premature of you to say, ain't it? But I took, I think, at the point in time, like 4 or 5 months off. Then I went to a few fights, and I was like, I got to get a second opinion.
I'm sure like all doctors are like, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
You know.
Not one doctor is going to suggest you do something that's going to cause harm to your body.
Yeah, no, I agree,
Yeah. So I got a second opinion, and my doc, he gave me another. He scanned my cat. Said my cat was good. I could fight. He's like, yeah, you're fine. I wouldn't. He did say that. I wouldn't suggest it, but I think you're okay. I'm like, you think?
Yeah, legally, he has to say.
Yeah. And since then, I mean, I've been since that. I got the okay. I've been fighting for 4 years, and I think I've only had one concussion, legit concussion that I know of, since that incident, and that was what I was talking about before, my very last amateur fight, when I was dealing with vertigo. I had a concussion from that, but
And you said you didn't play sports in high school? Like you didn't play football?
I didn't do well. Like I said, I had a lot of my concussions before fighting, and when I do physicals, and when the doctors during my physical would ask me if I had concussions or whatever, and I would tell them the list of concussions, and do you plan on playing football, or what are you doing this fall? Are you doing nothing? I was like, I want to play football. No, you can't. You shouldn't play football. I only played football 1 year, and it was my senior year. And at that point in time, that coach ruined it for me. Right. Motherfucker. I love football, but he ruined it for me. Such a dick. Frex, you're an asshole. But I do think about it. I feel like if I get... they say each concussion you get, it's always worse than the last one.
Yeah.
I feel like if I get 2 more, God, it's such a shitty subject to talk about.
Are you like? It's like
my goal is I want to. I know a lot of fighters that have been fighting for 10 plus years. This September will mark 6 years. I want to try to make it to 10 years.
Right.
I mean, I got 4 more years after September, so I'll be 33, 34 years old. That'll be pretty much at the end. I'll be past my prime. technique-wise, I could still be getting better, but like my endurance and everything's going to start going down. I want to try to make it for 10 years, but nothing's ever promised.
Right.
I mean, tomorrow's never promised to anybody. No. You just got to take full advantage of what you have every day and try and cherish it.
But as of right now, you feel okay to fight.
Yes, I feel
like,
fine. Yeah,
like,
especially with the time I've taken off this summer. I mean, me and my coach, like after that amateur fight when I was getting ready for my pro debut, I said, "Hey, I think it might be smart I not spar as much for this fight camp," which I didn't. Mm-hmm. And in my pro debut, you were there at Stir Concert Cove. Yep. I was not supposed to win that fight. I didn't get a chance in hell. No one gave me a chance in hell.
Second round, right?
Yeah, with 1 second left.
Okay.
Finished by TKO against Ryan Beckett, who I have a lot of respect for. Ryan, you're a great person, great guy, and a great fighter. I hope he just fought again couple months ago, and he dropped down a weight class, and he made weight, but I felt like it was too much of a weight cut for him, and it didn't work out in his benefit in the fight. But as an amateur, I think he was 9-1 and 10-1. He was like the number 9 or number 8 amateur lightweight in the Midwest. I was like 20, 25.
Damn.
Like
that's a great fight. Dude.
All 9 wins he had were by finish.
Yeah. Because I remember you texted me like after, he's like, "Dude, fucking Tower crushed it." I was like, "Hell yeah!"
The crowd was insane.
Yeah, I brought a lot of fan base from Lincoln
That's
there.
awesome.
I sold like for an out of town fighter, I sell over 50 tickets easily, and that's that's good for an out of town fighter. I mean, my gym is in Papillion, Omaha area, but I live in Lincoln, so I drive a lot back and forth.
Yeah.
But no, that was a great night. So, I mean, as of now, I feel totally fine.
That's awesome.
Just
take
again,
it fight by fight, man.
Exactly. I take it one fight at a time, day by day, and try and cherish the time I have in this sport. Yeah. The day when it comes, when I decide to quit fighting, I'm sure I'll still have some part in it, whether it be coaching or something. I'll have something part.
Yeah, but it is something that you need to think about. Like, I've talked to, like...
it definitely is.
Started making the conversations with JPAGs. I was like, hey, what do you think about, like, if G wants to play football? Like, are you opposed to that? Like, because part of me is, like, part of me doesn't want him to play at all, you know? But, I mean, I played for, 6 years, so like 2 in junior high and then, the 4 in high school. And I'm sure I have something, but that I'm aware of, I've never had a concussion. I don't have... like headaches and stuff. So I feel like, if he's safe. But I feel, if it gets to the point to where he has a couple of concussions in like a year or something, then I'm going to pull him, for like just, specifically for that. So at this point, I'm not opposed to him playing at all. And it is definitely something to look at. But I mean, there's your brain. They've done studies where it doesn't even have it's the jarring, not so much the hitting. So they're like, if you're on a boat or on a jet ski and you're just hitting waves, just a little could do something too.
I heard that on a podcast. Jet skiing is really bad.
Yeah. So I mean, it's anything and everything. So you can't be afraid of everything. So
they compare it to like you crack a egg in a jar, put a lid on the jar, and just when you shake it forward and back, that is the yolk is your brain in your head, in your skull. Yeah, that's what happens when you get whiplashed or hit like that. The yolk it hits the front of your brain, bounces to the back of your brain, or vice versa. So I wouldn't blame you as a parent for that. I definitely wouldn't disagree with that.
I mean, I think that you should at least question it in the end. But in the end, I mean, as much as I love football and, I would like, if he wants to play, 100%, I think. At this point in my life, I mean, again, he's not even 2 years old, so there's a lot that could change.
Yeah, you wait until he's at least 4 before you suit him up in pads and send him out on the field.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but he's had so many head injuries now, the way it is. I feel like him just falling over and, hitting shit, so... But, again, I just like, it's still a good conversation to have. For sure. So.
I agree with you. Like, my oldest sister, Susie, shout out Susie, she has 2 sons, and she does not want them to play football.
Yeah.
She got her master's in nursing. She's very well educated on head trauma and everything.
Makes sense.
She does not want my nephews, Connor and Jackson, doing
Those are
any...
such good fight names, though.
I don't know about the name Connor because I hate McGregor, but Jackson...
Yeah.
She doesn't want them doing any combative sports versus my other sister, Sadie. She has my oldest nephew, Tucker. He wrestles. He does karate. He does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Let's just wait another 8-9 years.
Yeah.
Tucker Robinson is going to be on the map on MMA because if I have any say in it, he's going to be part of it. He's met Chuck Norris.
Okay. Fucking Chuck Norris.
Yeah, my sister's a first-degree black belt in Chuck Norris's form of martial arts. It's called Chung Ku Do.
Okay.
She has a black belt in karate. It's either karate or taekwondo. I don't know what
I believe it's karate.
Oh, shut up. Potato, tomato. That, and she's flown out to California to do jiu-jitsu with... God, I'm probably butchering his name. Henner or Renner? Is it Renner? Gracie? Is it Renner or Henner?
Never heard of her.
I want to say it's spelt with an H, but it's pronounced Renner. I could, or vice versa.
There's like 40 of them.
There's too many Gracies. But
Of course, Henzo and
Hoist.
I've been drinking.
Yeah, Hoist.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
shit ton of them.
But yeah, he's gone out with Sadie and done jiu-jitsu with Renner, Gracie, sorry. But he's going to be he loves wrestling, and he's got the mentality. He's not missed a single one of my fights. He loves coming to my fights. And this is actually kind of funny. When we first signed him up for wrestling, my sister told me, hey, you need to have a talk with Tucker. And I was like, what about? It's a little early about the sex talk. He ain't that old. She's like, no. He comes and watches your fights, and he sees when you take down your opponent, you're still hitting him. And, well, he understands you wrestled in high school. And I'm like, okay, I see where this is going.
Right.
So you want me to talk to him after you take your opponent down? It's not okay to hit him in wrestling. She's like, yes, please. And she told me, when she had the talk with him before she talked to me about this, she's like, hey, I want you to know you cannot hit them after you take them down. But Uncle Bubba does. I'm Uncle Bubba to all my nephews and my 2 nieces. They call me Uncle Bubba. And I'm just like, oh my God, love you, Tucker.
That's awesome.
No, yeah, he's a good little wrestler. He's got a lot of intensity.
Well, shit. Hopefully in 10 years we'll have you and him back on when he's like heavyweight champ or however big he's gonna get.
I feel like this is something he'll want to do.
Yeah.
He thinks very highly of me. He just won some award for his school this last fall.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it, but it was given out to kids all across the U.S. to come up with an idea to benefit for children that have certain diseases.
Yeah.
Well, his what's the word I want to say? His motivation was my Uncle Bubba has diabetes. I want to do something for that. So he came up with like a teddy bear for kids when they're holding it. It tests their blood sugar.
Oh, okay.
And came up with some other idea. He actually won.
Oh, that's awesome.
He won a scholarship for college when he goes to college. He won his school like $15,000 for the science club, for computers.
Oh, dude, that's awesome,
Did
man.
very well. I love all my family, my nephews, my nieces, my sisters, everybody.
Of course.
But my God, Tucker, God fucking bless you, dude. I love you.
Dude, that's awesome.
They actually did an orientation for him, and they had me as like a surprise guest.
Yeah.
After he was done speaking, I popped out and thanked him and everything. And not gonna lie, there were tears shed.
Oh,
there were
course.
tears shed.
That's pretty cool,
I couldn't have been more proud of my nephew. He did such an awesome kid.
Hell yeah.
Hey, real quick, I wanted to get into.
Yeah,
I don't know where we're at for time.
We're about 2 hours and 46 minutes.
Okay.
So
We got another 2 hours.
Yeah, we got 2 hours at least. No, we hit it on jiu-jitsu. We talked about it. You talked about getting a new jiu-jitsu gi. Mm-hmm. Are you getting more heavily involved in jiu-jitsu?
Well, like, I just got the gi.
Okay.
But it is something I've been lacking. Like, over the years where I had success as an amateur, I'm very strong. I get that even from my teammates that fight a couple weight classes heavier than me. They always compliment me on my strength.
Okay.
And like whenever I go to the ground, if I'm going against someone that is really good with jiu-jitsu, legitimately I just do jits defense, try and pass guard and ground and pound. But like I said, I've been lacking in the jiu-jitsu category. I do have a win in an MMA fight with an armbar.
Nice.
Granted, that fight was a #1 contender for the light amateur belt that I fought for.
Okay.
Everyone saw me winning that fight in 100 ways. Not one of them was by an armbar.
That's a mission.
No, it just somehow fell in. And how I explain it to people, after you get submitted multiple millions of times by a submission, you learn from it, and that's what I complimented to it.
Awesome.
That's the only reason why that submission fell in.
Okay.
But yeah, it is definitely something I've been needing to look into it for a long time now, and better late than never. I wish I would have started a lot sooner. I got one of the best jiu-jitsu coaches in the state of Nebraska you can ask for, Scott Morton. Bad motherfucker. He wrestled at the University of Nebraska, Omaha.
Yeah.
Was a stud there, and then he got involved in jiu-jitsu. And
did you wrestle with, like, how long ago? Was it with, like, the Jason Brills days, or?
I want to say he did, because he talks about stories with when he trained with, when Houston Alexander was in his prime back in the early days. He trained with him, Brills, or Brillsy as he calls him. I want to say he was with those guys at the time, but I couldn't really tell you.
Okay.
I'd say more than likely he was.
All right.
But he is a beast. Like, we have one guy on the team, Josh Einen. He was a All-American from the University of Nebraska in wrestling.
Okay.
Then he started competing in jiu-jitsu. Wasn't involved in jiu-jitsu that long. It's just something that always caught his interest. And like his first few months or maybe first year of training, he was submitting black belts.
Damn.
Just really great on the ground. When I roll with him, again, it's like rolling with Anthony Smith. I feel fucking retarded. I mean, there's going grappling with a D1 wrestler.
Yeah.
No disrespect to like D2, D3, or NAI wrestlers, because it's been shown D2 wrestlers have been better than D1 wrestlers. Tervel Diagolov, I'm saying his name wrong.
Okay.
He was a Division II 3-time national champ or 2-time national champ from UNK. He would have beat the Division I national champ when he won those titles easily.
Okay.
He competed on the Olympics team. He wrestled at University of Nebraska Kearney. But I'm just saying, there's a world of difference.
Okay.
Like, I'll grapple with people and they think I wrestled. I said this on the last podcast. They think I wrestled college. I sucked in high school. I sucked. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a D1 wrestler, when it comes to grappling, you're a bad motherfucker. I don't care if you weigh 130 pounds soaking wet. You're a bad dude.
I tell you what, dude, we got a guy on the job. Like we got. What I love about the fire department is we got people from all sorts of spectrums, from military to college to nothing to like Jason Brillsy. He's on the department, and former lightweight UFC fighter, nicest guy in the world, but he'd fuck anybody up. And then guys like
who's that? Lightweight?
Light heavyweight.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
You're Brillsy.
Light heavyweight. Guys like that, and Andy Christensen. So he wrestled, and I want to say he wrestled at Nebraska, and he wrestled heavyweight.
That sounds right.
He's Andy Christensen is he's getting older now. And when I say older, I mean like my age. Like he's probably maybe a little bit older than me, maybe 40. But like he's got cardio for days, and he's a D1 wrestler at Nebraska.
Animal.
He's an animal. Like he grabs people. Like back in the day, he would like grab people, take them down. There's nothing anybody can do about it.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't. Yeah, that's another level. You know,
it
his
is
strength, and everything about him. But yeah, there's guys like that out there, and yeah, it's scary. You know,
like Josh Einen. I think he's only had one amateur fight.
Okay.
And it was against a guy from Kansas at a Joe Wilkes gym, which is a jiu-jitsu gym. I can't remember the guy's name. I just remember, Joe Wilkes, it's more of a Brazilian-style gym. Okay. They got great Brazilian fighters there. Excuse me.
Savage.
Oh, next time I'll let it out. But he fought this guy who had more than 7-8 fights. And this is his debut. Coach Danny went up to Josh. He's like, hey, we got you a fight. You're fighting so-and-so. And he's like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay? He doesn't care.
Nice.
That guy is a savage. Just always competing. I want to say he's from Colorado. He goes out to Colorado a lot.
Okay.
So his cardio is always good. He's always doing jiu-jitsu. And like he's the only one that can compete with our coach Scott. There's another guy, Mark. He's really good at jiu-jitsu. Those are the only two that can really compete with Coach Scott. And Scott just, you ever been again? Mind fucked.
Hell yeah.
Do you know Terrence Almond at all?
I do know Terrence. We talked about Terrence.
Yeah, I thought we did.
Yeah, is he on your department or?
He's on my department. He's been in the Army for like 20 years, and just recently. Well, I say recently, I don't know. The last few years, he decided to start MMA.
Mm-hmm. I remember you talking about him, and I asked you how old he was, and I was bullshit. He's that old?
Yeah, I think he's older than me, dude.
We've never talked, Terrence, but I've been a fan of yours since day one. Yeah. You are a beast. Yeah. Holy cow.
They say he took down Andy Christensen. So Terrence Almond is a guy on the fire department.
Yeah.
He came on a few years ago. He wrestled at
Dana
College, Jesus. Which is
That's where Benson Henderson wrestled.
Henderson's from, yeah. Mm-hmm. He wrestled around that time. He's not a big guy.
He fights 135.
He fights 135.
Bantamweight.
So he went to Station 41 where Andy Christensen is. Andy Christensen, and I'm not 100%, but I think he wrestled at Nebraska, and I think he's heavyweight. He's a big dude.
Okay.
And he's a country boy. He's
got that country strong.
Like somebody grabs you, like if it's a normal human, you're like, get the fuck off me.
Right.
Somebody like this guy grabs you, like you know you're
you
God
just
help
pee
me.
Yourself.
Whatever. You're not getting away from that. That's a different kind of strength. Like Tower was saying, like there's different levels to a D1 wrestler. Yeah, they do whatever the fuck they want with you. You know what I mean? Like, and somebody even bigger than you at a D1 wrestler, he's fucking shit up. There's nothing you're gonna do about it. So anyway, the story is, and I wasn't there for this. This is the other side of town. I'm in South O. Terrence 135. He gets there. He's like, I wrestled or whatever. And Andy had a head deal where he had a dental emergency that turned into like real shit, where he had like it went from a dental thing to an infection in his brain to having seizures to almost dying. So he left for like a year.
Yeah.
Approximately. This is years ago. Came back to the job. He came back to the job and they're like, oh yeah, well, Terrence Almond needs to wrestle. Maybe you guys could wrestle sometime. And it's a joke because it's almost like like 100-pound difference.
Say when. That's exactly how it turned out.
And they say Almond took him down.
Oh,
he used speed, whipped around him, grabbed double leg, went for the takedown, and everybody's like, no fucking way. Terrence Almond, he's a fucking savage. I went to a few of his fights too, and he's ripped. He's got a lot of muscles. The last fight I went to of his,
he's a beast.
Yeah, he's a beast. He's a beast.
That's fucking crazy.
Dude, he's been in the Army for like fucking 20 years or something like that.
Yeah.
He looks like he's probably 30.
Yeah, he doesn't look that old. That's why I was so surprised when you told me he was like, how old is he? Almost 40?
I think he's older than me. Yeah. I'm 38.
You told me how old he was, and I was like,
No,
bullshit.
I maybe I'm wrong. I know he's older. He's got 4 kids. He's been in the Army for like 20 years. I want to say he's like almost 40 years old.
Probably right then.
Word on the street is he took down Andy Christensen, and everybody's just like, Jesus Christ.
That's awesome.
And now he's fighting MMA. You know, he's fought VFC. You know, and
Right.
no, I thought you knew him, and I thought we talked about it, but I couldn't remember.
I've never talked to him. Like I said, I'm a fan of his. He's had a few controversial fights even.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate seeing that. I mean, he's a dominant wrestler. I agree with how the state commission usually goes with on the judging.
Yeah.
A guy takes you down and he stays on top of you, he's the dominant.
Yeah.
But if a guy takes you down and just sits there and doesn't do anything, doesn't advance position.
Yeah.
Like, I see both sides of the coin again, but I remember like the last fight I seen him watch, it was the same case scenario. First 2 rounds, he would take him down.
Yeah.
First round and a half, I say he was advancing position. He was doing good enough.
Was this at
Baxter? Yes, it was
he
at
gassed
Baxter.
out in the 3rd round.
Yes.
I was there
The
for that.
second half of the 2nd round, he wasn't moving. The other guy was going for submission attempts,
Yeah.
doing
Oh,
very
yeah.
well
Yes.
with his movement off his back, was doing very well. And then in the 3rd round, it looked like Terrence gassed out, and the other guy, I can't remember his name, I want to say he was from Colorado, was doing very well with the stand-up.
Oh, yeah.
Was Tanner... Oh, good
Terrence.
Terrence, sorry. Was taking a few licks, but still staying in the pocket, still moving. But, God, when it comes down to that fight, I almost would have called it a draw.
Yeah. Same.
I would have called it a draw, but I can see both sides of the coin
Yeah.
on how they would give the guy from Colorado the win or Terrence the win.
Yeah.
It's just, like, I feel like there's not enough judges that actually know what the fuck they're doing.
How do you fix that? Do you think you just
Stop hiring people that have no education on it whatsoever.
or do you increase the time of a fight, or do you increase the judges, or how do you increase? Because most fights,
there's
I'm
multiple
just throwing
ways.
shit out there now. But most fights to me seem like they go to the decision,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of them are controversial.
Yeah.
Do you add more fight time, or do you add more judges? Do you add? Or
I don't
judges?
think you would add fight time
No.
personally.
You think 15 minutes is?
15 minutes is more than enough time.
a lot of time.
25 is well than more than enough time for a title fight. But I think they should increase the amount of judges from 3 to 5.
Okay.
3 to 5, or maybe even more. And the judges you have actually have judges that have been involved
same.
have judges that have been involved in combative sports.
Okay.
Have them take a class, have them been involved or part of combative sports. Stop hiring these people who are 300 plus pounds, never fucking ran a mile in their life. Stop having them judge fights. I hate that. Like, the people they have judged don't have a fucking clue. Like that one chick, Joe Rogan calls her out all the time. Always says she's a nice lady. I believe him. She's probably a nice lady. But she scored the Conor McGregor Mayweather fight, and the first 5 rounds she gave to Mayweather. Mayweather didn't throw a fucking punch till the 3rd round?
Yeah.
And everyone argues McGregor
McGregor
may have thrown way more punches than Mayweather, but a lot of them weren't landing. They go by percentage. I'm like, I get that, but Mayweather threw 1 punch in 2 or 3 rounds.
Right.
After that, it doesn't matter how many punches McGregor threw and missed.
Yeah.
His percentage in input and output tops McGregor or Mayweather's percentage on that 1 punch it throw. It should.
Yeah.
I don't feel like they have enough educated judges judging.
I hear you. No, it's crazy to me. Like, I still see fights now where it's a split decision, or it's even like 29 or 30-27, and it's like, wait a minute, what? Like, what fight are they watching? Like, I don't know. Anyway, Dana White, Tower's talking directly to you. Like, your shit's fucked up. Good fucking refs. I don't know what the fuck you gotta do about it.
Hell yeah. Well, we just crossed the 3-hour mark, gentlemen.
Have people educated on the shit.
Yeah, Dana, you hear that? You fucking piece of shit.
I say that respectfully. I mean, if you ever plan on having me on the contender, be nice.
You doughy,
I'm just throwing out ideas. Just throwing out ideas.
And pay your fighters, you fucking greedy fucking Irish fuck.
Get rid of Reebok.
I don't even know if he's Irish. Yeah, get rid of Reebok.
Yeah, I don't even know if he's Irish.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's great.
Fuck you.
Like I said, we just passed the 3-hour mark. We should probably wrap
Let's
this
wrap
up.
it up. Real quick, I just got one more thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right,
All right.
so in episode 44, I talked about the injury to my orange cat. She got left out overnight.
Yeah.
She was a severe limp. The last few days, she's improved. Today, she looks like she has no injury at all.
Yeah.
No
Oh,
vet.
that cat. Really?
Yeah, yeah.
I would have never guessed it.
Last podcast, we discussed if we were going to murder her or bury her.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not going to take her to the vet. I don't give a fuck. But she seems today, like for the first day in a few days, she seems 100% back to normal. So
I
no
would agree.
vet, no
Yeah.
death.
Hell
She's
yeah.
good to go.
That's
So
great.
that's the last thing I had, just to update.
Go ahead. Go right into your shouts out and fuck yous.
Okay. All right. So I want to give a quick shout. I want to give a quick shout out to Deanna. That's the wife of my main man, Two Guns. She's the one that recommended the Jolly Ranchers
Hell
into
yeah.
the Zima, and it made a world of difference.
Yes.
Still not a drink of choice for me. Another shot. My second shout out is to Volcanic Pepper because
Yeah.
they showed us nothing but love today. We bought stuff today. We'll take a break after this. We're gonna go up there and eat some of that fucking jalapeno jam and some cream cheese and crackers, and we'll feast. But shouts out Volcanic Peppers. They've never let us down. It's great. My only fuck you is to Conor McGregor.
Hey, fucking man.
Your shouts out and fuck yous. Do you have any?
Yeah. I'll try and make the shout outs quick. It's a little bit of a list. Sorry.
You're right.
Shout out to my girl Heather. I know we've had our ups and downs. We're making things work now. We're getting back in the swing of things. I know I was an asshole that one night. You know what night I'm talking about.
What happened? Let's stop. Let's focus on that. No, I'm just kidding.
I love you to death, baby. My gym, Skywalker Boxing 101, my sponsors, Animal Instinct, Omaha, South Omaha Tequila Garage Bar, Beer Care Club, C Station, Sadie Sidekicks, K&Z Miller Distribution, my favorite motherfucking podcast, Nasty and Friends.
Never heard of them.
Yeah. Good Life Construction, Scott Anson, thank you for everything you do for me. He's definitely my biggest supporter and sponsor. I appreciate everything you do for me. Mustache Rides at Nissan of Omaha. My family, my sisters, my brother-in-laws, my mother, my dad, thank you for all the support and love you give me. Shout out to Nick and Nate Diaz. I'm a diehard fan till I die. My FUs. Okay, this is a little bit shorter. Y'all know I listen to every fucking podcast.
yeah.
So, fuck Nebraska Furniture Mart.
Hell yeah.
The guy that spiked all of your friends' drinks at that cookout.
Yeah.
Oh, and Conor McGregor, fuck you. That's it.
Hell yeah. I got my shouts out. I can't remember the full name, but the John's place that we ate today.
John's Christian Delight.
Yeah. Fucking shouts out to him.
Hell yeah.
I had shouts out to Volcanic Peppers. Shouts out to Skywalker 101. Shouts out to the Manchu Mile. I think that's how
man,
dude. That's
yeah,
fucking
man.
awesome.
I'll show you the belt after this.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that. And then I just had a couple fuck yous. Fuck you to North Korea. And then
They're at peace.
Yeah.
Let's not push it.
Yeah, for now. And then fuck you to people who don't use blinkers. Has nothing to do with anything we talked about, but fuck them. And then one more time, hit them with your beard promo.
Oh yeah, please.
Okay. Beard Care Club. They're out of Utah. Go to my Facebook page. I mean, if you go to Google and just type out Beard Care Club, there's more than a couple sites that'll come up. Like I said, they're out of Utah. Go to my Facebook or my Instagram. You can find them. Tower Robinson. Type in Tower on the coupon code. You'll get 40% off. Again, they have anything from beard balm, beard oil, multivitamins that help with beard growth and skincare. They have oils for even women's hair. Ladies and gentlemen, they even fucking have chapstick.
Hell yeah.
What? They got chapstick.
That's fucking awesome.
They got so many products. Again, just go to the coupon code, type in Tower, get 40% off. The best beard balm and oil I would recommend is the Norseman. My girl Heather loves it, so if she loves it, I'm sure your girl will love it too.
Dude, that's fucking awesome, and that's great. Again, also, the last shouts out I want to give to you. Thanks for coming on, man. Again, bottom of the barrel, but I think it was fucking great.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, plus he's in here. You guys, this is an audio podcast. Tower's in here looking jacked. He's got the bro tank top, Mike Tyson Championship 1998 tank top on. We should probably take a picture of him.
Diaz 209.
Guns are fucking out because suns are out. You know what I mean?
It makes it more difficult for us because we got to do a podcast with boners.
I've been sucking this boner for the last 3 hours, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. So
thank you guys for having me. Again, I rock your guys' logo on my trunks and banners.
Yes.
You support me through your podcast, and honestly, how I take it, that's better than you guys giving me money.
Yeah.
I mean, for having me on podcasts, I love it because I love podcasts.
Yeah.
Love listening to them. Really love being on them. So I thank you guys for having me.
Dude,
seriously,
you'll be back plenty times going forward. So we love having you on. It's always a blast. And so I think we got to take a break, and then we'll definitely see you cunts next week. So remember, life's simple. Don't be a dick. Night sluts.
Motherfucker, yeah.
Original bad boy.